When Sweet Tarts dared to combine sweet and tart, they thought, why stop there? Why not create other exciting and unexpected combinations? Like rainbows and ropes, or fruity and gummy, or chewy and more chewy. That's why they created fun treats like Sweet Tarts Twisted Rainbow Ropes, Gummies Fruity Splits, and Chewy Fusions. When you dare to combine, it's sure to blow your mind. Sweet Tarts, dare to combine. Visit sweettartscandy.com to shop now.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Kann du noch?
If you've heard that sound from Babbel before, I bet you do. Babbel is the science-backed language learning app that actually works. With quick 10-minute lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts, Babbel gets you on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. With over 16 million subscriptions sold and a 20-day money-back guarantee, just start speaking another language with Babbel. Right now, up to 55% off your Babbel subscription at babbel.com/Spotify podcast. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify podcast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
So good, so good, so good.
Amazing deals on activewear for all the ways you move are at Nordstrom Rack stores now.
How did I not know Rack has Adidas?
I love these new Nikes.
I always score at Rack.
Stock up on new gear from the best brands in the game, starting at just $40. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
Welcome back to another exciting edition of the Pointless Exercise Podcast. It's time to remember this crap with Mike Donahue. Mike, how are you?
Bears.
People are tuning in for the 2004 Cubs. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but
we never issued a release date.
It's football season, and this is a week. The Bears are playing the Niners, and we came up with a brilliant idea. So you're going to instead, you're not getting the 2004 Cubs. You're actually getting an enjoyable team, the most enjoyable Bear team of all time. You're getting 1985 Bears at Niners.
Anytime we can do it. We're at that time of year. We're having to pivot here, juggling back and forth between our Cubs shtick and the Bears shtick, and we thought it'd be good to, typically when we go down this road for the Bears, it's first time they face an opponent. That's kind of what we go by. The Bears are playing the Niners on Sunday. Is that we kind of give the historical look and find reasons to make fun of the franchise for various reasons, make us feel better about our own. But then teams come up again, and we've figured another direction we can go is YouTube has lots of games. And what we found, in case you missed last season, with 1985 Bears-Packers on Monday night, the 1985 Bears-Vikings on Monday night, pretty much going forward, maybe that's just what we do because the 85 was so much fun and pretty much every goddamn game is on YouTube. But we did want to pass up the opportunity to take a trip down memory lane for a rare Bears vanquishing of the Niners in San Francisco, no less.
Well, the Bears do play the Falcons this year. Do you think we can get David Archer to come on and see if he can remember anything that happened in the game where he got his head pounded in?
I was at that game. Could you remember, being sacked in the end zone for one of 5 safeties that the 85 Bears produced?
It's too bad that you're the only one that can see. The podcast studio here at DeCipio Tower has been completely redone. It's very nice. And I would like to tell our good friends at Chuggo, I have a table. It is a thing. You can do it. Mike doesn't have to sit and look at my crotch while I sit there awkwardly with a laptop on my lap. I actually have a table.
Balance it on your gunt.
Did you see they added four new guys to their Bears coverage?
No.
Including former WGM, maybe current, I don't know. Mark Harmon. I don't know where. Not Mark Harmon.
Oh, I like Harmon. No, not Mark Harmon. Not the actor from Summer School.
Mark Harmon. There's no way.
I know
there's
Mark
no way to
Harmon.
not make those sound the same. Mark Harmon.
Correct.
Harmon.
Mark, you have to really pause between the Mark and then the Harmon.
The one that Chuggo has was not in Summer School with Courtney Thorne-Smith.
Correct.
And his dad wasn't a Heisman Trophy winner? Was Tom Harmon a Heisman Trophy winner?
He played at UCLA, and I believe.
Well, Mark played at UCLA. The old man.
USC.
The old man played at Michigan, and
he did.
Oh, and he was a great player.
Good call. Somehow I thought Mark Harmon.
He's from Gary, Indiana.
Wow.
Gary, Indiana. Wore number 98. I played quarterback. I don't think he won.
I don't know that he may have won the high. He was renowned.
He won it.
He did.
He won it. The first Michigan player to win the Heisman, Tom Herman. And then his son got to be on St. Elsewhere. Perfect training for that. They got him. They got two other people I don't know, and they got a man most famous for being the last player to sack Brett Favre.
Oh, our guy from Northwestern, Tracy Wooten.
Corey Wooten. They hired him. He has to promise not to beat up Adam Hogue. That's the last former Bear they had couldn't not do that. So they're going to try that this time.
I like Adam Hogue, so I can't imagine it'd be that hard not to punch him. But then again,
well, Olin's got anger issues. He didn't hit him in the face with a dumbbell. He's learning to control himself.
Could have been worse, right? It's only been 17 years since the Fred Miller incident.
So, no additions to the football squad here at Pointless Exercise. Still Mike Pusteri on the Bear podcast and Mike Donahue on Remember This Crap. We don't need any more.
It's rolling out the same bullshit.
We should bring Kyle back for one of these, though. Kyle Morris. I got a lot of Kyles. A lot of Mikes. Just to have his internet crap out 8 seconds into a podcast again. That would be fun.
For old time's sake.
Making astute football observations that no one ever heard. Because he lives in Iowa, and the wind wasn't blowing hard enough for the internet to work that day.
Right. And so we otherwise are missing out. And I don't feel I get enough of his insight from his tweets. It would be nice to just hear him rant. I'm sure he has a thought or two on Justin Fields.
He seems very positive. I'm sure that'll get beaten out of him somehow.
It could get quiet, right? And not necessarily because of Justin Fields, fall, obviously. That clearly not. If Justin Fields doesn't make it, I'm already not willing to just say it's because of him.
Well, now, you told me you haven't listened to it yet, but we did the season preview podcast last night, and I
have not.
We actually did the hack, went through the schedule, win, loss, and I was I think I have a theory on this. I think that when you do that, you get caught up in the moment, and you always give the team 2 more wins than they deserve. I think that's exactly what I did. I got overly optimistic, and I gave them 2 more wins than they deserve. No, I get 7 and 10. There's no way that's a 7-win football team.
I forgot about 7.
That's a 5-12 football team, and I talked myself into 7 wins. So, but I'm Mr. Positive. I'm Mr. Positive about the Bears. It's going to be all good stuff. Love the Floos. We found out. We came up with an alternative definition for the hits principle. It's good stuff. So people should go back and listen to that after they've listened to this. So this is week 6 of the 1985 season. The Bears are coming in at 5-0. The defending Super Bowl champion Niners are 3-2, having lost games to the Vikings and the Saints. Is that right? Was the Saints? Did I hear that
believe,
right?
Yes. May or may not have been Jim Morris Sr.'s first season, but Saints were starting to awaken, but nobody expected. They were an absolute doormat for them. It was in 85.
Saints beat them 20-17 on a Eugene Goodlow 43-yard touchdown pass from Dave Wilson. I don't know what
former U of I. Right. Dave Wilson, of course, was Tony Eason's predecessor at Illinois. So there is that. That Dave Wilson. Illinois, constantly sending quarterbacks to the NFL there for a while.
Yeah.
Even Jack Juneau.
Jason Verduzco still playing in the NFL?
Yeah, he might be. What about Shane Land? Did he ever make it? I can't remember. I don't know.
Didn't they have a guy last year named Art something? Art. It's like, no, don't start a quarterback in 2020.
Was Kirk Kittner a Bear? Let's remember some crap about, was it Schaubert?
Did he ever play in an official NFL game for the Bears? I know he was there for.
I just know I was in Vegas for some New Year's, and he won me money.
Kirk Kittner started 4 games in the NFL. Do you know for what team?
Yes, the Falcons, right?
The Falcons. Yeah, he's 1-3.
Just came to me.
He threw 2
Game.
touchdowns. Yeah, he won a game. He threw 2 touchdown passes, and he threw 6 interceptions. His final transaction in the NFL in 2005, he was waived by the Chicago Bears.
Okay. Didn't probably have far to go. go back home and find another job.
Did
career.
He's from Schaumburg.
Yeah, so Schaumburg. I wasn't sure it was Schaumburg or Naperville.
He's only 42. He's younger than Tom Brady. He could still be playing. I don't know what's... Fifth round draft pick of the Falcons.
Wow. Didn't know that. Well,
maybe we'll have him on for the Falcons.
Reinforces my point. Illinois, for better or worse, has sent a lot of quarterbacks to the NFL to varying degrees of success, and that may or may not have begun with Dave Wilson, who was there before Tony Eason and helped beat the defending Super Bowl champion Joe Montana-led San Francisco 49ers, putting them in a rut. And then at the same time, the Bears, like you said, were 5-0, and for context, the Bears were sort of mid-ascension. They were, had advanced the year before further than we expected. It was all a thrilling ride, and so everything was coming together, and it was coming together as we had hoped, and more so. And the Bears were undefeated. Not so expected was that the 49ers division rival Rams were also undefeated. That was the other thing going on at this point in the season. Dick Stockton made us very much aware of this while we're watching this game. And, of course, the Rams would continue to pretty much just play above the wire, and the Niners did keep stepping on their own dick, and I think it's one of the few years that Walsh missed the playoffs. And the Rams would, in fact, make it all the way to the Soldier Field in January before getting run over. But both teams were undefeated, but the Rams and the Bears, there were a pretty big difference, even at this point in the year.
Well, I mean, the Rams had a huge advantage over the Niners that year at quarterback. Dieter Brock.
CFL legend.
Yeah, Dieter Brock, former Winnipeg Blue Bomber, against Joe Montana. That's not a fair fight.
It wasn't in 85. It sure was.
Ralph Dieter Brock. I would have gone with Dieter, too, if my name was Ralph, I think.
Well, what the Rams had, of course, was Eric Dickerson.
Yeah, he was kind of good.
Some good linemen, and
Walter Payton's former college teammate, Jackie Slater.
Yeah, I was going to say Slater and Daryl. No, who am I thinking of? I can't think of the offensive lineman. I mean, I don't know. The Rams, we've hashed it out. They were like this, always a second-tier team in the 80s, although they were much closer to being a first-tier team in the 70s and just kept getting bounced by the Vikings and Cowboys. They were always sort of there. Just, I don't know, 85 was one of their best shots, but they really didn't have a fucking shot, it turned out, because it was all Bears, including on this day.
So the announcers, folks at home are going to hear the announcers. We're gonna play it under our. We'll try to shut up when the announcers say something astute. We may have to rewind occasionally to catch things, but we're going to try to. We're not going to try to not turn this into a 4.5-hour podcast if we can help it. But the announcers are Dick Stockton and a guy named Wayne Walker,
whom I still know nothing about. I've done no research.
You should know that he looked a lot like Jimmy Buffett.
I thought he looked like John Holmes. I didn't.
He was
when they cut to the camera in the second quarter. I was.
The reason Wayne's doing the game is Wayne. This is mid '80s CBS, where Johnny Morris is local. Johnny Morris can do Bear games. Wayne Walker, former NFL player, sportscaster on KPIX,
Bay Area
in San Francisco. He was a former Detroit Lion, and he played two positions. Wayne was a linebacker, and Wayne was the kicker. And I love that so much.
Linebacker
and kicker. Pat Summerall was a tight end and a kicker.
Yeah. Well, Bob Parsons was a tight end and a punter.
That's the gold standard.
Of course. Good old memory stick.
Wayne, for his career.
What years did he play for the Lions?
He played for the Lions from 1958 to 1972.
Oh my gosh! No offense, Wayne, but your rookie year was the year after the Lions won their last NFL championship.
Wayne was I'm not going to say Wayne was an accurate kicker, For his career, he made 53 of his 131 attempts. 40.5%. He did. Though, extra points. Wayne was your guy. 172 for 175. 98%. Bob Thomas would shank more extra points by week 4 of the season than Wayne missed in his entire career.
But let's also point out that Wayne Pornstash was kicking in an era before they even pushed them back. Literally, extra points were they not on the goal line?
They're on the.
No, I'm thinking about the goalpost. But yeah, no, same thing.
Yeah, goalposts were on the end line.
So he still missed 3, but whatever.
Yeah, because you could at that time you could kick an 8-yard field goal, right?
8-yard field goal. If you're at the 1 and a 7-yard from to the snap,
8-yard field goal. For his career, Wayne Walker attempted 13 kicks of more than 50 yards. How many do you think Wayne made?
0?
Yeah, he didn't make any. 0 for 13. He made 15 of his 48 attempts from 40 yards, 40 to 49 yards. He was 16 of 35 from 30 to 39.
Maybe some windy conditions at Tiger Stadium.
He was 11 of 23 from 20 to 29 yards out. But if you got him inside of 20 yards, Wayne was your man. 11 for 12 in his career.
All right.
He kicked in parts of
his goal.
8 seasons. He played 15 years, and half his career he was a kicker and a linebacker. He was a Pro Bowler as a linebacker.
Oh, wow.
All 3 times. And he was first-team All-Pro in 1965.
Was he playing with the Lions as late as like 72, 73? I'm just wondering if he was teammates with
72.
Dick Duran.
1972. He made the Pro Bowl 3 times. I guess I said that. He made the Pro Bowl 3 times. He was first-team Associated Press 1 year and second-team 2 times.
All right.
So that's Wayne Walker. You're going to hear him. He's got quite the comb over, even in the picture here. He went to Idaho. He's from Boise. And he's dead. So Wayne will not be joining us for the second half. We tried to do the Manning cast thing with Wayne, and his widow said he's unavailable.
Good, because not good. Unfortunate, because I was hoping to learn more about the Navajo defense that the 49ers employ. I don't know if you caught that, but we'll get to it. I'll get to it. We'll jump to it when we get there.
How about this? 1985, he led the NFL in non-offensive touchdowns. It doesn't mean they were defensive. It just means that they weren't offensive. Like, nobody was offended by Wayne's touchdowns.
In what year?
1958. He had 2 of them, and that led the league. I don't know if they were fumble recoveries or whatever. He ranks 49th in NFL history in extra point percentage.
Okay. But kids, for more Wayne Walker information,
this is all Wayne Walker all the time. So, all right. Well, we're going to hear from Dick and Wayne right now.
Yeah. This is Dick Stockton and Wayne Walker here on a beautiful day in San Francisco, and they say maybe the largest crowd ever at Kansas Park.
Who's they, Dick?
Maybe. Dick, we can't get a fact check on this? Nobody's counted.
Equivocating.
They're just willy-nilly coming into the stick? Nobody's taking tickets?
This is one of those games, I'll guarantee it, that's going to be played with playoff emotion and intensity.
Wayne's making guarantees right off the bat. He's not fucking around.
It's week 6. I'll allow it.
Fat little Ray Warshing is kicking out. He kicks it all the way to the 10.
He is fat. I like it. He's got the total, like, the uncle, the belt buckle pulled up over him.
They don't go down too much then. He's an acrobatic receiver. Catch it anywhere.
Okay. Acrobatic, that come to mind when you think of Kenny Marjoram?
I think
maybe tumbling.
Good hands.
I mean, he might be a tumbler. I don't know about an actual acrobat. Now, one thing I mentioned to you right before we started, I like this part, and we're going to let some of this roll. People can't see this. They could. They go to YouTube. They can just watch it. But
sure,
it's the normal beginning of every game. They do it to this day, where the announcers talk and they throw up on the screen the lineups by unit. So first we saw the wide receivers, and then they're going to put the offensive line up, and then they put whatever. So I like the way Dick sets up Wayne. Wayne gives you one fun fact about a player in each of the position groups. And the first one,
while we're looking at the
first
screen.
one, Ken Marjoram was an acrobat. I didn't know that, but I don't know what he majored in at Stanford. Apparently, it was acrobatics.
Also a replacement at tight end where Tim Reitman is in for Emory Moorhead with a sore knee.
Mike Ditka says that Reitman plays like he did.
That's bullshit, but that's fine. Tim, you think of Mike Ditka? You think of Tim Reitman?
I don't think Ditka would have been given Reitman praise that easily. Reitman was a nice, pleasant addition in '85, supplementing Moorhead, former USFLer, but and Ditka was happy to have him. But there's no way Ditka's tripping over himself in an interview with Wayne Walker.
That's pretty good, not bad. 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line for the top-rated passer in the NFC, Jim McMahon.
How about that?
And
eat your heart out, Joe, San Francisco fans.
Joe.
Yeah, not buying it.
Suey goes in motion.
Yeah.
Passing on 1st down. McMahon finds Payton out of the backfield.
It slides into second base.
34-yard line where Ricky Ellison and Dwight Hicks make the stop. So they go to the air on 1st down. This is the base defense for the 49ers. We'll see a lot more up there.
7 defensive linemen. You'll see it all. They still haven't gotten Fred Dean on track.
Who's been really outstanding in that group?
Todd Shell's an emerging star at outside linebacker.
Todd Shell, emerging linebacker at outside linebacker. Todd
I think this is the only time
Shell.
I watched all 2 hours and 12 minutes of this game. I don't think Todd Shell's name was actually mentioned.
Emerging, according to Wayne, he's an emerging superstar.
There were a lot of good Niners in this defense, and they made plays in this game, and their names are mentioned, but I didn't even catch Todd Shell.
This game is only 37 years old. There's a chance Todd is still emerging. Well, maybe he'll be playing on Sunday for the Niners still.
We'll be talking a lot of the big switch. Hicks for Lott, cornerback for safety.
Neither one of them like it, but that's the way it is right now.
So Lott's gone from cornerback. You can keep rolling it, but like Lott's basically the story is he's gone from being a cornerback to a free safety.
And he doesn't like it? Mr. Pro Bowl, maybe the greatest safety of all time, didn't like
maybe
safety.
And he has a presence in this game. Yeah, there's Reitman, 24 yards.
Reitman, this is a Tim Reitman game. He's all over this.
Early on, at least.
Watch, this is just good protection up front now by the Chicago Bears. McMahon with all kinds of time.
Now, I didn't know this about Tim Reitman. Reitman was the second guy the Bears drafted in '82 after McMahon. They didn't have a second-round pick. He was a third-round draft. So he didn't sign with the Bears. He went to the USFL.
Right.
And he was apparently, there, he just said it. He was the first player to sign a USFL contract. It was Tim Reitman.
He signed with the Blitz, right? Was he not a Blitz?
I don't know who he played for. Yeah,
might not have been. Okay.
And then he came back, and they told me, and Mike Ditka said, like you played just like me, whatever that
right.
means. Here's a McMahon going deep to Willie, and the play takes so long that Willie is basically in the 4th row of the bleachers by the time Jim throws the ball. He's literally standing under the goalpost waiting for the ball. You're not going to complete that. Sorry. And he gets interfered with.
Yeah, it's good. As much as we love McMahon, even in this game, there are times he underthrows Willie. Well,
I just think that's poor play design. It's like, okay, we have one of the fastest players in the world. Let's run this play action, take a 19-step drop back, and then throw it to Willie. Willie, he'll be open by then. It's like, well, yeah, the field is only 100 yards long. Willie will have run out of field by then.
Exactly. Yeah. Walter Payton fun fact coming up. I think he touches the ball for the first time here.
Well, he already caught a pass. And he slid into second base.
That's right. I called that. Robbie Thompson tagged him out.
So these would have been are these the Ed Hughes Bears?
Pretty much always. I don't know who else. Whoever it was never... The offensive coordinator was never the script. I can't think of any else. I mean, Greg Landry, Ed Hughes. I don't know. They're so unnoteworthy.
Gary Big Hands Johnson's was offside that time.
Number 97 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
There he is.
That's the first of what will be about 7 first-half penalties, by the way, which makes the day very satisfying.
Now, they said who the ref was, and I missed it. But he's a real yeller. He really gets into the calls. It's not Ben Wright, but it's a guy that I recognize. I just can't think of what his actual name is. But we get a lot of him screaming the penalties. It's like, you're right, you have a microphone.
Bateman goes strong side to the left. And McMahon to the right sideline.
Look at that play to Willie.
And he's got it inside the 5. Willie Gall to the 4-yard line. Torrey Nixon, a nickel defender on the play, and Willie Gall, who has the best average per reception in the NFL.
So that's a play that gets replicated in the Super Bowl, I believe.
Couldn't sign him. And who can stay with Gall?
It's a great pass.
Throw by McMahon.
McMahon dropped it in the bucket. Right over the defense.
And Willie Gall, the big play man,
Willie was leading the NFL in yards per reception.
Well, and as we've discovered before, Willie would only amazingly catch one touchdown in the entire season this year. He'd already caught that by now.
So Bears have the ball on the 3-yard line now. They've taken the opening kickoff and are ramming it right up the Niners' butt.
Yep.
And then who are you going to throw to? Offensive lineman Andy Frederick. That's who you throw.
Good old number 71. Ditka go into his bag of tricks. Is he trying to embarrass Bill Walsh right off the bat, or he's got and that's the context. I think the fans, we all know it, that the Bears, of course, and if you watch this game, Stockton and Walker will talk about it. They got pantsed in the same environment less than a year earlier, less than 7, 8, or 9 months earlier, with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line.
So after first down, gimmicky pass to Andy Frederick. On second down, why don't you just give the ball to the greatest running back of all time, and he scores a touchdown.
Good fucking around. You'd think that Ditka would learn that lesson by the Super Bowl too, but he wouldn't. Said he's going to gimmicks.
Now Wayne Walker, his theory was that Frederick was actually the second tight end because Emory Moore had the shits. That's why Reitman is starting. They had to have somebody else. Didn't they have Jay Saldy? Wasn't he on the team?
Well, Pat Dunsmore caught a touchdown in the playoff game.
And you see Dunsmore later. That's how good Dunsmore was. The Bears were like, let's use Frederick.
Did Walker really suggest that Moorhead just had too many burritos? Because Moorhead seemed like an iron horse. I do appreciate having Reitman in '85. It was a step up. He was a backup tight end. This is probably one of his better games. But
there's a sign behind the goalpost.
Right in this kind of situation, when we need it, I'll take
sorry,
it.
Wayne repeated himself now.
And it's not Gene 316.
And Walter doesn't need a whole lot of them.
I can't. It says "Go home, Cubs." They're making fun of the Bears being baby bears, apparently.
Little bears.
And I don't know what it says. Does it say surly bears are cowering or I don't know. It's
curly bears.
It's very bad. The Niner fans should be ashamed.
And now Kevin Butler.
It's not funny.
Well,
it's not clever.
Look, they think that's a burn because the Cubs didn't lose down the coast in San Diego the year before. And just to finish up, when the Bears got humiliated in the conference title game, they thought they deserved to be in the same field. It was all about, as they walked off the field, next time bring your offense, and that's kind of what the theme of this game was. Number 9 kind of represents what that means. What time are you at in the game? Because I wanted to make sure they did have a discussion about the playing on a baseball diamond. Probably not that relevant at 8:05, but you want to make sure we don't miss at least the 49ers' first drive at 9:13 or so, because we get to watch a little bit of history. According to Dick Stockton doesn't know it yet, but in retrospect, yeah.
So the Bears' first drive.
They're the best. We haven't been fooled by
7 plays, 6 plays, 73 yards. Only took 2 minutes 29.
A little too quick because that bomb to goal sped it up. A couple of incomplete passes.
Yeah, so here's where Dick is going to make mention of the fact that the infield is still visible at Candlestick.
You can see the skin portion of the infield, even though the baseball season is over here in San Francisco and maybe over for good.
The
reason he said that was the Giants were owned at the time by Bob Lurie, and he was threatening to move the team to Denver if he couldn't get a new stadium built. And do you know how many fans the Giants averaged per game in 1985?
San Francisco Giants?
Yeah.
No.
11,000.
Yeah, I believe it.
They
were terrible, and that place was just inhospitable.
So they actually had 3 options that we're looking at. They were either going to move to Denver, which was their that was their preference.
And that was a AAA team at the time.
Vancouver or New Orleans.
Wow.
And baseball had told them that even if they moved to New Orleans, they were going, and this made sense because the Braves were in the West.
Yeah.
The New Orleans Giants would have been in the National League West.
Yeah, well, it would make more sense at least, and not so much as they move east, but the fact that the Braves are always in the West never made sense. But
so Lurie told, and the season ended, which would have been right around this time. He said that the Giants were never going to play another game in Candlestick Park. They couldn't
Got
play.
it. Season was over for the Giants.
It was a shithole, and they were never going to play there again, and they were going to play in Oakland
the next year
until the new stadium got built. San Francisco had to build a new stadium, and the city of Oakland said, "Go fuck yourself. You're not playing here." The mayor of San Francisco said no public money would be used on a new stadium. Do you know who the mayor of San Francisco was?
Was it Dianne Feinstein?
Dianne Feinstein. She was old then. And that's almost 40 years ago. She's still a senator.
God, she's barely being propped up.
So, there was a proposed new stadium that the Giants wanted to build. They were going to build it down by the Embarcadero, which is basically nearly downtown. The Giants were going to have to invest $20 million of their own money. $20 million to build a stadium in 1985.
Wow.
The Giants would again threaten to move in 1992 to Tampa. This was when everybody was using Tampa to get a new stadium,
right,
including
Jerry
originally
gotten
and eventually, then AT&T Park, which is now Oracle Park,
Pac Bell, whatever,
in almost exactly the spot that proposed stadium in 1985 was going to be built.
Wow! All right.
So there you go, folks. There's your baseball infield trivia.
As Kevin Butler kicks off from right around where Johnny LeMaster would get blown to the ground from the Candlestick win.
They have not covered the skin portion with grass yet.
Well, they've only had a week to do it. In 2 more weeks, the 49ers play here again against Philadelphia, and I'm sure the facade will be in then.
Okay, Wayne. We're counting on it.
Derek Harmon are back for the 49ers, and it's going to go to Harmon at the 3. And Harmon brings it out to the 20-yard
Dick Butkus with a big hit. Oh, no. Jim Morris.
We mentioned the key block by the left guard.
I always get those guys confused.
Well, his number is retired. Are we at 9? Is it 9:13? This is the first NFL start.
Oh, yeah. No, it's coming. 8:43.
There's the kick out right there by Bortz. You'll see it. Right there's the key block. And Walter goes
I don't know. This guy, did he amount to anything?
7-0.
Who? The rookie wide receiver? I think they're casting Freddie Solomon to the side way too quickly myself.
Setting the 49ers offensive.
I don't know, he didn't even go to a Division I college.
Running attack with Tyler and Craig, but look at Jerry Rice making his first start.
A new starter, Freddie Solomon, with a concussion last week, but Rice has shoulder problems.
Same offensive line.
Key right there is, can Fred Quillen handle Dan Hampton in that 40?
I hope Rice can fix those shoulder problems before his career gets derailed.
2nd and 10.
Sure, Wayne say the key to the Niners will be if Fred Quillen can handle Dan Hampton.
Once again, you don't hear Fred Quillen's name again, which is probably not.
Carries it out to the 25-yard line where McMichael and Singletary make the
stop. The thing, you don't really hear Hampton's name a lot in this game, so maybe Quillen and
a good one.
Double team
against the 49ers.
Oh, there's another penalty. Drink. You have to drink every time the 49ers get a penalty. It's really glorious.
That became a problem later.
But it is glorious because what you'll see in this game is that the Niners are undisciplined, sloppy, not themselves.
Number 71 offense.
So Andy Frederick can't get open and he can't block.
On the penalty, the rest of the Bears
He's not holding
defense.
the guy.
And that's a good unit right there with the youngster Wilbur Marshall really coming on.
Wilbur, by the way, you're going to hear his name a few times. And again, watch this video, kids. You're going to see him just flying across your screen, like almost like Jefferson from last time.
Everyone on both sides of the ball. Montana pumps, hits Jerry Rice out at the 20.
Oh, there's that rookie, Jerry Rice. He fumbles.
Whistle had blown.
Yes.
He gets bailed out by a quick whistle.
I think he does. I don't remember now that I think about it.
Cost Steve Duerson a fumble.
No.
Richardson makes the stop on a highly regarded rookie who so far has lived up to his notices.
Notices, Dick?
His notices.
What is this,
Well,
1920?
Dick was old then.
Yes, the bulletins that we're receiving about Jerry Rice are...
It looks like Mike Richardson punched that out. It could have been the LA Mike.
I thought he did. I wasn't sure. Right. Forget it. It's Jerry Rice Town. The myth is already being baked in. Everyone tripping over each other. Very descriptive.
Wendell Tyler recovers it.
Okay, Wendell.
Wendell's got a lot of practice recovering fumbles. They're usually his.
He does. Yes, and this game will be no exception.
Wendell's actual nickname was Fumbles. Is that a bad nickname for a running back? They call you Fumbles?
Although he did play in 2 different Super Bowls with 2 different teams. 1979 Rams. Max Rudiger. I love the...
Sean Gale almost blocked the punt.
Is that Sean Gale?
Yep. And there's Ken Taylor. The great Ken Taylor, who I forgot was on the team until we did one of these 85.
You forgot that he was not white, in fact.
Yeah.
Which was on
I
the
thought he
Bears
was Jim Taylor's
Monday
brother.
Night Podcast.
Maybe he
right.
is.
By the way, the Bears and Packers, if you don't, in case you find this so riveting that you want more, guys, in the real time in 1985, the game the next week, we also break that down because the Bears will go on to play.
The defending champions and the team they beat to get into the Super Bowl last year, the Bears.
Yep, rematch. You know it. We're not happy about it. Pithka's looking svelte.
He's got the dress shirt and the tie on. He's looking good.
Matsui, the fullback in motion. Take a draw, hit Reitman.
Another huge catch by Tim Reitman.
It's the Tim Reitman game.
Down to the Niner 35-yard line already. There's not
also
again.
Tim Reitman was dating a woman whose father was the national candidate for vice president from the Democratic Party the year before. Eleanor Mondale.
Tim Reitman was Keith Van Horn married her.
Wait a second.
Yeah, it was Keith Van Horn. But it could be a good scandal though if she did Reitman first.
Yeah, wait, that's right. Scratch that. Mondale, I'm sorry, Reitman tried his hand at stand-up. I do remember that. There was video.
Oh, Reitman's he's got an IMDb page. Timmy was
he was he was California guy, UCLA.
He can run. He does. He gets a first down to the 25-yard line.
Total late hit by Ronnie Lott and not fucking called. They call a late hit later in the game. Not a late hit on Eric Wright, which was like 1/10 the intensity of Ronnie Lott's bullshit here.
Nobody open. Now McMahon will come out of there.
Tim Reitman
number one thing this week
has a
for the
voluminous
stay in your lanes. Number two, they said give up your pass rush to get back
he
in
was
the
in
lane.
such shows as the reboot of Get Smart. Who was hosting it? Oh, it was Don Adams with Andy Dick and Elaine Hendricks, whoever that is. He was on Baywatch.
Wow,
right,
that makes
quite the action. He out-hassled the Hoff.
Mixing his plays nicely, going
you try to at least.
Jim McMahon so far.
It's a wham play, a counter step. And Matsui comes through.
Yeah, I'm still mad about that Ronnie Lott late hit.
Number 50 right there.
You know, Ronnie's Ronnie in this game too. You know, we're seeing a few Hall of Famers. Payton will definitely eventually just put together another performance. But
when we watch these old games, it always cracks me. They just did it there. On a replay, they will simply, instead of like, now we're used to constant stats and all kinds of stuff. Like there was a replay of Walter running through the line, picking up like 5 yards, and the only the only thing they put up on the screen was 34 Walter Payton. For those of you who don't know who Walter Payton is, this is him.
Right.
Was that who that is?
It should be worth noting, too, that we're almost gone on a full calendar year where Payton has been the NFL all-time leading rusher for all time. And he actually it's talked about in this game. He got off to a little bit of a slow start. He only had one 100-yard game, I believe, coming into this, but this would be the first game of a new record that he would set, consecutive
11
games in which he would record. Yeah, I believe so, yeah. And he ended up getting about 1,500 yards this season, a full season after he broke Jim Brown's record.
There's a late hit on McMahon.
It's another one.
Very Justin Fields-esque.
Yeah,
They don't protect Barry quarterbacks. Ever.
Well,
Jay used to get hit late.
There's a point late. Well, it's just a double.
Guys used to
later in this game. Steve McMichael gets called for a late hit on Montana later in this game.
I don't know if you knew this. In the 40s, guys would hit Sid Luckman with a steel pipe, and they wouldn't even call it. They could it was fine.
Right. Yeah. It was unwritten rule. Here's the rookie Kevin Butler, by the way. Pretty much automatic. Got to give him credit for that.
So this is week 5.
No bye weeks.
Week 6. This is week 6, and there's a sign in the end zone, a fan-made sign that said, "Joe will cool the refrigerator." They were already afraid of William Perry. He hadn't done anything yet. He hadn't even played in this game yet. Joe will cool the refrigerator.
I don't understand. The fridge was absolutely not on many people's radar. He was a novelty because he was a 300-pounder, but he wasn't playing. Buddy Ryan refused to play.
Fat guy with a good nickname at that point.
Yeah, first-round pick on a team that was getting noticed. The Bears are taking off here.
So now one thing that Dick just said was Jim McMahon was the second quarterback taken in the 1982 draft. And that the first pick in that first quarterback taken, Art Schleister, had been cut that week by the Indianapolis Colts. That would not
tells us that
would not be the worst thing that ever happened to Art.
Walter Payton
his getting caught.
His stints in prison for his copious amounts of gambling, illegal gambling, and gambling debts. Probably a little worse.
We're talking about getting cut from a NFL roster, not getting cut of one of your fingers.
But Art was the first overall pick, I want to say, by the Baltimore Colts. And think about that. Less than 4 seasons later, Ryan Leafed him.
Was he number 1? But he was before McMahon, I know that. Also, very topical, San Francisco, Ted Knight, too close for comfort. Letting Monroe return a kickoff return. Sorry, I don't know. It might be too deep of a cut.
Art was the 4th overall pick. 1 pick ahead of McMahon.
Yeah.
You always have the whole place to yourself.
Well, cool. They're trying to sell us a university experience. Oh, no.
Wait,
it's a mortgage. What is it?
Good production there.
Yeah, nobody remembers Kenneth Sims, Johnny Cook. Oh, Chip Banks, I remember.
Another fumble that the refs are just going to let the Niners keep. That doesn't seem fair. Hampton's just taking the ball right to the bench. He's like, look, I got it. Oh, they do give it to the Bears. Good.
That's right.
Russ Francis, who for some reason, you remember when Howard Cosell on Monday Night Football would repeatedly say that Russ Francis was all world?
I don't.
Never understood that.
I do not.
So he was fine.
See what happens with the football. Singletary's in there.
Yeah, Russ Francis, whatever. Tight end.
Oh, look at that. That's a Wilbur punch. Wilbur literally
Wilbur's
punched
all
the
over
ball
this game.
out.
I'm telling you, watch this game, kids, on your own. But I'm telling you, watching it here and watching it before, Wilbur Marshall, second-year player, all over this game.
This was the game where the McCaskey family looked at it and said, he's really good. We're not paying him a second contract.
Right.
Screw that.
Yeah.
That was an oddly blocked. I know a screen pass, you don't really block it, but the pass, the only guy who could have caught that was Mark Bortz. I don't think that's a good play design.
Probably didn't even.
Although, who knows? They already threw the ball to Andy Frederick. Maybe this is a play for Bortz.
Right.
They'll never expect it.
That's only the first Andy Frederick pass attempt.
Bortz is.
And I would try.
So was Hilgenberg.
I want to make
sure they were both open.
I want to make sure we don't skip past the 23:50 mark because I had questions about what we see.
We got a couple of minutes.
All right.
Second and 10 on the 26 now. Here's Walter Payton.
You don't like to see it on the rare occasions that Sweetness gets stuffed.
Well, it'd be nice if someone had blocked.
He's pumped up. Yes, he is. He always is. Sunday to Sunday. This
is a play they run for David Montgomery all the time. He handed him the ball, and there's 4 guys there ready to attack.
So at this point, we're still in the first quarter, but the Bears are up 10-0, still trying to exert their early dominance. So it's favorable position, but haven't really grasped it. But Wilbur's going to make sure Bears are kicking ass all day.
What happened to the
extra receivers. James Manis and Brad Anderson are in.
Oh, Brad Anderson.
Extra receivers for the Bears.
Yeah, they went 4 wide. I didn't even have 4 wide receivers. How'd they do it?
Yeah. Well, that's what you want on a 3rd and 8. Is,
they do it later in the game too. They go 4 wide with Willie lined up next to Walter, and then Willie goes.
Was this the play here? I think it's the very next play. The 3rd and 13. We got a 3rd and 13 coming up here.
Look at the films of last year's championship game.
I believe.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Somewhere around the 22-minute mark of the video, but I know that Galt does. I think he lines up in the backfield. I don't know. Or he just comes in motion. Never mind. But I think it's on this next play where it's 3rd and 13.
See Steve Kazor hanging out real close to Ditka. Got to keep an eye on him. You never know when he'll have a grabber. Here it is.
Right.
Willie. Willie's lined up as a running back.
Or try to risk somebody's career. Gadget, right.
And there goes Willie. That motion didn't accomplish anything.
Wide open.
Except Willie caught the pass.
Gets Willie wide open, and then he falls down after catching.
Right.
But it's good enough to set up another field goal opportunity for Kevin Butler. They didn't get the first down. They're short by about 5 yards on the play. But Kevin Butler comes.
All right, bring on the rook. Whatever. It's automatic.
Lead to 13-0. Butler kicked a 34-yard.
Look at Kevin. He's got his sleeves rolled up.
This will be a 38-yard.
He's not really a kicker. He's a
These
lineman who can kick. He's Wayne Walker. That's who he is.
Oh,
he's basically a linebacker who's kicking. He's that manly.
And Butler's kick is perfect.
It's perfect.
Bears up 13-0.
13-0.
Like it.
They're boat racing the Niners. Going to win this one by. I would have at this point. I would have gone on DraftKings and I would have bet $1,000 that they'd have won this by 50 points.
Good call, but it would be nice if they would have converted those turnovers. That last turnover, was it 2 turnovers already, into touchdowns and not field goals.
No, just 1. They didn't give. Oh, yeah, it was 2. No.
Hey, I hope I didn't
3
miss
fumbles.
the
They only lost 1.
I didn't miss the Marie DeBartolo message, did I? Or that happens later.
I haven't seen it.
All right, I don't know if you saw it the first time around. I had questions.
And Monroe nearly broke one. Brings it out to the 25-yard line.
I don't want to see Monroe. I want to see the daughters from Too Close for Comfort.
That's right. Thank you.
I don't need to see.
I don't
need to see Jim.
Thanks for validating my Ted Knight reference and the fact that show was in fact filmed in or takes place in. Oh, here it is. Look out.
Send their good wishes to Mrs. Marie DeBartolo.
Like, can you read all that?
The entire 49ers squad and organization send our warmest regards to Mrs. Marie DeBartolo, who we understand is not feeling well. This is the scoreboard message. We understand is not feeling well. Everyone realizes she is our biggest fan. We send our love. Unfortunately, Marie would die before the end of the second quarter.
Before the end of the third quarter. Eddie DeBartolo, of course, the owner of the 49ers, who had only purchased them, I believe, after the failed bid to buy the White Sox from Bill Veeck. After which they end up in the hands of Jerry Reinsdorf and everything. And then DeBartolo went on to win NFL championships. Take that, Sox fans. Hope you're happy with Uncle Jerry.
That was a 46 defense. Now, every time they come out of the huddle, they've got the play called for a 46 defense. If the Bears are in something else, Montana will audible at the line. So they're set to go against that 46 with quick stuff.
Okay.
Got that, kids?
Glad they got that. Every play is designed to beat the 46
The 46 defense.
Defense no one. Oh, well, not no one.
We'll find out later that apparently there were emulations, which I'm still suspicious about, even instead of real time. Wendell Tyler does not fumble the ball there.
It's one of the rare occasions when Wendell was able to hand it to a ref.
They blitz.
Wendell's already fumbled once, right? Did he not fumble earlier in the game?
I think he recovered Montana's fumble.
Okay.
But yeah,
Right.
he's about to. He rolls the ball over the field. He's like Juan Pierre.
Yeah, he always
rolling his
did. That's the
balls
first thing
over
I think of. Very nice runner. Like I said, he played in the Super Bowl for the Rams in '79 and the Niners the year before here. But that was one of his down.
He had a fumbling problem in college. I think at UCLA, maybe.
No idea.
He was a known fumbler. And there he goes, right on cue. Thank you, Wendell. Although it's always on cue for Wendell.
Well, and although some badass, probably McMichael, stripped it from him. Yeah. Otis runs off with the ball.
How about this? Wendell Tyler. He led the league in fumbles in 1982 with 10. 1981, he fumbled 11 times. In 1984, he fumbled 13 times.
But did not lead the league.
He fumbled.
Well, 82 was a 9-game season, so that actually wasn't bad.
He played 108 games in the NFL, and he fumbled 64 times. He fumbled in almost 60% of the games.
More than half. Jeez. That's incredible. Is that just fumbles or fumbles lost? Do you know?
That's fumbles. Yeah, I don't know how many.
By the way, McMahon takes his first sack here.
Yeah, number of times fumbled,
both
lost and recovered by home team.
Watch 99, Mike Walter, the linebacker here
Got
on
it.
the inside come through. Stover's the outside. That's Walter back there first. He flushes McMahon up, and then Stover comes off a block to make the hit.
Keith Van Horn, the right tackle for the
For a game the Bears are dominating, the offensive line a little spotty.
Yeah, and they're not really dominating because the last two drives ended in field goals. Like the defense has taken their pound of flesh, and the offense has moved the ball. But it's a little, I guess, in some sense, if you really, again, context, we're dying for this game. We're dying for revenge. We want to show we belong, and we're showing it, so we're nervous and excited early. But boy, it would have been nice if we could at least score 2 touchdowns early.
And then Kevin Butler has kicked 2 field goals from 30.
Outgained
As the
123 to 39.
123 to 39. Yeah. Field position helps. There's really only been one true drive for the Bears and 3 scores.
I'll never get used to, I don't know why, I grew up with it. I'll never get used to the way quarterbacks would twinkle toe backpedal sometimes.
Instead of just turning.
Yeah, usually, I mean, now the way they're
striding
turn
back.
and
They don't back
there's
up.
literal Fred Flintstone. Ding, 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 ding.
Number 34, he is out in front of Suey.
Nothing like making sure that you're half the time you're completely not set to pass.
Right, like your eyes are jiggling. Right, yeah, your weight's not proportioned.
Took 60 years after they invented the forward pass to figure out that maybe that was a dumb way to do it.
He's going to be coaching a while. 3rd and 9.
Yeah, Dick Stockton's correct. Dick will be coaching a while. Another 8 seasons, which is by Bears standards.
Now, there's the Bears shovel pass. It's a very nice play.
Yeah.
The reason it doesn't work as well now is they're not throwing it to Walter Payton. That limits the effectiveness of it when you're not throwing it to Walter. It's a cool looking play when it works, and it worked there.
Well, and McMahon's good at dishing it. Yeah, that's at the 27 mark of the video. I think we're still in the first quarter, right?
About 2 minutes ago.
There it is right there, kind of a Utah draw. Nobody there. He's got wide
It's a
open
Utah
faces.
draw,
They call
according
it
to
the
Wayne
Utah
Walker.
draw. They call it the flip. They call it anything.
Well, hey, Wayne's from Idaho.
They call
I
it
don't know
flip.
his lexicon.
Yeah, he's always been jealous of the innovative offenses in the state of Utah.
They cheat.
Swing it out this time to Matt Suey. Suey head down.
Suey's always good to give somebody a potential concussion.
Very excited that the Bears have a fullback again. I'm sure Kerry Blessingame will be the new Matt Suey.
Yeah, no question about it.
Dick just said, I wrote it down earlier, the rough and tumble Mike Ditka and perhaps the more sophisticated Bill Walsh. Perhaps?
Yeah, maybe
justifying Mr. Hollis's faith in giving me the job. He took everything personally. He said, but I'm okay with it now. We're all having fun.
Less than a minute
Okay.
remaining.
Whatever. Yeah. Tell him, Wayne.
2nd down and 6 at the 23.
Is that a Vuvuzela in the crowd? What are we in Brazil for the World Cup?
1985. It's ahead of his time. But I like Payton just going for a dive. 3-4, another first down.
Doesn't really fumble all that much.
Goddamn right he doesn't, especially compared to
Unlike Wendell Tyler.
Well, let's see how many times Walter fumbled. Do you think Walter fumbled half as many times in careers?
Well, I mean, like
twice as long.
We already know the rate for Tyler is 60%. Like big games played and fumbles. I wonder if Peyton's rate is half that. Is it 30%?
He fumbled 86 times in 190 games.
80 over 190.
It's about half of what Wendell fumbled. Like Walter's in the 30s percentage-wise.
It's 42% of the games he fumbled.
But sometimes he didn't really fumble. He would just put the ball out real fast after he was down, and sometimes the rest would think it was a fumble because he was so quick. It wasn't fair. Or early in the 70s, he would try to fumble forward because it was the only offense that.
Oh, right, and until the Dave Casper and the Holy Roller.
I would say that of the 86 fumbles, 84 of them were on purpose.
I think so. That's right. Everything their way. So very satisfying first quarter. We're on the warpath for vengeance, and all so far so good.
Bears are kicking the shit out of this fancy wine drinking San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, so far.
Where's your elephant backfield now, Bill? Let's see it.
Yeah. I think a lot of us didn't even remember the Guy McIntyre thing because the game was so depressing at the end. We may have all kind of walked away in the last few minutes. We learned about the backstory later.
By then, our parents were drunk and we were playing ColecoVision, so we didn't even see it.
Well, in television in this household, but same story.
I'm sure I was at the Atari 26.
And again, I had Pitfall. That was one of the few Atari games that in television was also able to reproduce. But,
I remember I finished Pitfall and I took a picture of the screen. That's great.
You finished it. You didn't get
it took
stabbed by the tarantula.
And I got so close, not even knowing it a couple of times. And fucked up.
He's an inspiration.
Yeah, I just want to say for everyone listening along to us, if you watch the 2 hours of this game and comment on a video that you're not actually watching, you should absolutely watch this and every game that we do, whether or not you watch it as you go along. Just because if you never saw Walter Payton play, you will get treated over the course of whether it's 15 minutes because they're usually tailored for him or a 2-hour game. And you'll see it in this game for sure, but you'll see it in some of the others that we've done. There are going to be like 8 or 9 cases where he just does things, and he's like an old man at this point. It's just a minute ago at this point. We're like at the 34-minute mark of this particular video. Just the way he gets extra yards, the way he just doesn't give up. And the fact that we got to live through it, something that I just try to keep appreciating.
So,
I don't appreciate McMahon.
I don't want to disparage the Bears play calling, but they're in the red zone again, and they just ran another pass to Andy Frederick.
Right. I said earlier, they went to him twice. There it is. There it is. Early in the second quarter, up 13-11. Ditka cannot wait to fucking shove it up. Whatever hair Ditka has on his ass about Bill Walsh. And I don't know exactly what it is. With other coaches you might know, but he just cannot wait. Ditka right now is like tumescent at this point.
Hey, run a play to our best player. Peyton? No. Andy Frederick.
No, do it in the most embarrassing way. See, now look at it. I'm sorry. Look, there's Ronnie Lott again.
Ronnie Lott picks McMahon up by the shirt and slings him around. There's no penalty called. I'm telling you, it's the thing. Bear quarterbacks are never protected.
Yep. 33 minutes.
And there,
15
McMahon
mark
hangs Walter out to dry. That was a
Ronnie Lott, it's fun to watch it for that. Ronnie Lott's a legit Hall of Famer, and he was a tough, mean player, and he pulls some bullshit. He's a dirty player at times, and certainly was in this game. You see some Ronnie Lott highlights in this game, too.
Oh, he didn't fool Todd Shell.
Oh, Todd Shell's name was.
Todd Shell was all over that. Wayne's pretty sure that this was called, no, Will, you're not open. I know you're waving your arms, but you're not open. Wayne's acting like that was a called play back to Walter when clearly McMahon had nothing. He's just like, here, Walter, take it. Walter's like, don't give it to me here. What are you trying to get me killed?
He had to find a reason to validate his pregame Todd Shell hype.
So if you had a fantasy football team in 1985 and you had Kevin Butler, you're pretty excited. 3 first-half field goals now.
So I didn't even know Coneheads were a thing, by the way, in '85. But there's a fan dressed as a Conehead. So.
The Coneheads never went out.
No, because they came back and they made a movie in the '90s with them, right? But it was really originally the '70s.
They know the Rams have already won, and we'll bring you back on up to date on all the scores. Meanwhile, Derek Harmon to the right.
The little kid fan club. You see that for the Niners? It's called the Minor Club, MINOR.
Oh boy,
that's worse than Clark Screw.
You must be under 16.
Honey, I have to go to a minor club meeting. Wink, wink. Like, no, not again, Billy. I don't. The next time we move, you always have to go introduce yourself to all the neighbors.
Yeah, not very well thought out.
Now we're seeing the West Coast offense in all its glory. Quick passes.
They're moving the ball. Yeah, the Niners are moving. They're not fucking around anymore. They're tired of getting embarrassed.
Give it to Wendell till he fumbles. That's the whole
offense. we saw Roger Craig appearance earlier. Kind of a dual threat running back.
You know what the deal with? Remember when painters' hats were like a big
thing?
There's a guy with a painter. Why?
Until we talk about the '84 Cubs.
Why was that?
I had a few painters' hats. Did you not have a painter's hat?
Yeah, but why was that ever a thing? There was a lot of shit.
I don't know.
Why
did it disappear as quickly as it? Yeah, it was weird.
You know, cool things like Zubaz go out of style, but painters' caps.
Yeah, right. So there's Roger Craig, not the San Francisco Giants manager, who also wore number 33 and was the manager at this point in time.
And we're pre-Tom Rathman.
We're
Bill Rung.
Bill Ring. That's Jim McMahon's old roommate. Yeah. Dick will share with us some benign Jim McMahon being roommates with Bill Ring at BYU story. That's in the fourth
quarter. Talk about
quarter.
A thankless fullback at BYU. That had to be the worst. You're throwing 50. You just you're basically a guard. You just pass blocking on every play.
All right. Lavelle's like, giving you number 65. All right, so the Niners are not going to go easily, right? They're defending champions. They went 15-1 the year before. It was their second Super Bowl in 4 seasons, or 3 seasons even. 4 seasons. But Bears punch them in the mouth, and to their credit, they're actually finally fucking moving the ball. We should say, too, that the Bears' defense in '85, sometimes early in the year, we get off to slow starts. We talked about the Bucs game to start the year. They give up 28 points in the first half. The Packers game, they were, the Vikings game, they were giving up points early. This game, they came into play.
Yeah, they had, when Stockton mentioned that that Payton had scored his 100th and 101st touchdowns
the week before against Tampa.
It was in a 27-19 win over the Lehman Bennett Bucks. Not exactly a resounding dominant performance.
Wow. Yeah, the whole season was not like Sherman's March. That wasn't until Dallas Atlanta.
So they'd already played Tampa twice, right?
Yeah, I know.
Because they played them in the opener and they had that wild ass.
Yes. The hot game with James Wilder. Yes.
Who's playing with a cracked bone in his right wrist.
No fucking excuses. You can't pull down Mongo without cheating, you prick. I don't like Randy Cross.
Nobody's.
Randy Cross, yes, he sees falling down, so he just pulled, looks like McMichael down with him.
Bullshit movie, scissor kicked him.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's what you get. Then
hit him in the
McMichael
head,
next play, McMichael gets a sack. Hold me on one play, I'll get my sack anyway.
But he is probably one of the most underrated defenders as a
Dick's right. And I think I still underrated.
Steve McMichael was somehow famously underrated his entire career.
I think it's true.
I think he was famous for being underrated forever. Doesn't that make you rated?
I'm not buying into. Well, I don't know. I'm not buying into.
If everybody knows you're underrated, it means everybody knows you're good.
Right. Well, Jose Cruz with the Astros, but I never thought he was underrated. I just thought he was properly rated until recently.
I just always wondered why they couldn't get him a belt. He had to hike his pants up after every play.
That's why he joined wrestling. He had to get a belt. Don't forget there's a penalty.
Don't forget there's a penalty. It's like Dick's like, there's a penalty after every time the Niners have a big gain, there's a penalty. So just don't forget it.
That's pretty much it, right? Which is a beautiful thing to see. They're verklempt. The Bears have punched them in the mouth. Even on this drive,
I mean, the reason
forward,
that they're hanging in there, but they are being overwhelmed. That's why they're penalties. They're hanging on for dear life.
They are.
Much the way the Bears had played against them in the championship game, where the Bears were overmatched.
But it was only 6-0 at halftime.
Not that long later. And how the tables have turned.
Or as Michael Scott would say, how the
turntables.
The turntables.
Jim Dent's pass rush. He said Dent is so quick.
Jim
Dent.
Who's Jim Dent?
Jim Dent was a sports writer, and he's a novelist, right? He wrote North Dallas 40?
No, that was Peter Gent, who played basketball at Michigan State. But Jim Dent did write a biography of Bronco Nagurski from 20 years ago called Monster of the Midway. Brent Musburger would occasionally refer to him as Jim Dent also. But Wesley here can't stop himself.
The Chicago Bears have dominated the game.
And you never know
until
where
now.
They're coming from. Mike Singletary on the outside over in here.
Well, one Jim Dent was a black professional golfer.
That's
and the author.
Not enough people to pick him up. They're picking up inside, and look at this shot.
He wrote biographies of Jerry Jones. He wrote the Junction Boys. That's probably what we know him from. Remember, ESPN made a movie out of the Junction Boys.
Yeah.
Back when Bear Bryant was coaching at A&M.
Did he not do Monster of the Midway, the Bronco Nagurski biography?
Shitload. He wrote Undefeated, Oklahoma Sooners, the greatest winning streak in college football, which they lost to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And here's what Taylor did on the
Wilkinson.
12 Mighty Orphans with Luke Wilson, Mark Machine, and Robert Duvall was adapted from.
That's not the Jerry Sandusky story, I hope. God, that'd be terrible.
Yeah, 12 Mighty Orphans.
Joe Montana.
No, that was the minor club.
Even though the Niners start from their own 9, trailing 16.
Jerry, that was the Bay Area chapter.
That was the Bay Area
finish
chapter.
Line or whatever his awful charity was that he was basically.
I forget the longest yard or something.
Boys.
The final yard.
Dennis Hastert was running a chapter out of the U.S. Capitol.
Illinois, the Yorkville area.
Yeah. They want to wrestle Timmy? I'm a page. Never mind.
Jim Dent did write Monster of the Midway, the Bronco Nagurski.
Now this is a really nice counterplay to Walter, and it's all set up by the fact they went Tim Reitman in motion the other way. The Niners, everybody's chasing Tim Reitman today. I mean, he's lighting up, and there's nobody to tackle Walter. That's just good design. I hope Luke Getsy's watching this, writing some shit down.
Payton gets hit out of bounds on another nice 7-yard run. I don't think it's Ryan Lott this time, but 22.
Look at that, even leg whips him out of bounds. This is cheap shit.
Many of their drives in San Francisco territory following the mistake.
It is funny to watch old games though and see all the stuff that would clearly be a penalty now, and then nobody even blinks an eye.
This game has countless examples. Thomas Sanders gets one late in the game on a special teams tackle.
Oh, Jerry Rice on the phone on the sidelines. Hey, Mom, I'm on TV.
Bears at the 18.
What channel? Never mind. Calvin Thomas is in. There it is.
Number 32.
Honest to God, it's one of the worst passes I've ever seen in my life.
It's like Rex in the Super Bowl, man.
All right, we gotta look at this.
Like very similar to Rex in the Super Bowl.
This is unbelievable. Okay, so we gotta set the scene here. So the Bears, it is 3rd and 1 on their own 18-yard line,
and they're up. Is it 13-0 here or 16? It's 16-0, right?
They are lined up with wide receivers split to the top and bottom of your screen. Calvin Thomas is offset as the fullback, and Walter's back there. Just give the ball to Walter. Just give it to Walter and see what happens. Instead, Walter, he moves, but he just ends up in a split back. They send Calvin in motion. Nobody chases him. McMahon clearly it's supposed to just be a pass to Calvin Thomas in the flat. You could see it. McMahon's going to throw it. Calvin's open enough. Jim's probably like, he's not going to get the first down if he catches this, so I'm going to pump. Now he's being pressured by the defensive end. Fred Dean or Jimmy Dean or one of the Deans.
Walter actually did not get the block off on this one, but he's not.
So all you got to eat this, take the sack and punt. You're up 16-0. Well, instead, what McMahon does is he's almost prone in the air, fires the ball blindly to the middle of the field, where there is literally the closest guy. I don't even know who that is. It's Ken Marjoram. Ken Marjoram isn't within 10 yards of the ball. The Niners almost knock it away from each other because there's just two of them in the middle of the field. Intercepted by Carlton Williamson. And he runs it all the way back for a fucking touchdown. And now instead of it being 16-0 and you're punting, it's 16-7. It's going to be 16-7 right before the half.
Triple lifeline. Made the execs at CBS very happy because the man of the game. Bears were basically dragging their ass all over the field. Jimmy Mack.
I mean, we love Jimmy McMahon. Man, that was dumb. And and Dick just puts his arm around him. Son, don't ever fucking do that again. He didn't even look where he's throwing it. He literally just heaved it down the middle of the field.
And then to add insult to injury, you have to see who's down injured on the field, too. Shortly after that.
Was it Keith Van Horn again?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it's Calvin Thomas.
Oh, my God.
They broke Calvin Thomas.
Yeah. All right, so 16-7. Oh, wait, not 16-7 yet. It's kind of funny because McMahon got planted, too. But I like that they cut to a commercial, and then they come back from the commercial, and Ray Wersching has to kick the extra point twice.
He had to kick it because they missed it? Wasn't it on TV?
No, it was...
Ray, we got to go again. CBS
right, they got the whole Potemkin Village, like at the end of Blazing Saddles, all set up. No, there's the penalty. So he actually had to kick like a longish PAT.
Was that a shot of Sam White on the sidelines? I think it was.
It's against the 49ers.
Quarterback coach, right?
Yeah, he probably was. Oh, no. He's due for more sausage and beer. He has to stay on the field.
I literally I couldn't remember if Ray Wersching was a barefoot kicker. No, he wasn't. He was just a fat little guy.
I thought most of them were back then.
How was that ever a thing? Oh, I just take the shoe off and kick.
Tony Franklin.
The 10-yard penalty.
I kick a lot better without the assistance of a shoe.
Right? Yeah. Well, maybe like me kicker must prove macho.
Yeah, so they back Tony up 10 yards. Now he's almost out of range. And he makes the extra point.
Now I get to eat sausage and drink beer.
Now, if this was now and you were kicking, the 33-yard extra point, they would have had to have gone for two.
Go for two.
Yeah, because Ray would have. I can't make that.
Worth pointing out that the whole dynamics of the game back here are altered a bit by the inability to go for two. It's making me think that the NFL rule change to go to two has probably had a bigger change in the game than I thought, as far as like the entirety of a game, because it's easier to put a game out of reach with the whole 2 scores, 3 scores, when you can't make a 2-point conversion.
Well, it was weird too because you could.
There he is.
It's a handsome Wayne Walker.
Yes.
He looks like Dick looks like he wants to kiss him.
He
really does. It's like look at his eyes.
I was just struck by the stat. It just seemed very 80s.
The blonde hair, the brown mustache.
But then you read off Wayne's NFL stats, legit NFL player and all that. And he actually, you're right. He works well with Stockton. Obviously smart. Must be a smart guy. He grew up in the mountains of Idaho. Once again,
look at Kenny Marjoram. Not only catches it, picks up the first down, slides out of bounds. Savvy. He went to Stanford. He's smart.
All the way around. He played for Bill Walsh at Stanford.
Have we seen the picture? Is this when we get the picture of Ken? Is this going to show us?
No,
they just did the 82 Ken Marjoram graphic.
Yeah,
we could see that on his jersey. That's CBS. That's not helping anything.
They put it up like 3 times, and every time it's always like you look at it, you're just like.
I don't know why. I loved Ken Marjoram as a kid. I just thought maybe because his name sounded like margarine. I don't know. Maybe I was just I love this.
Well, he always felt like a poor man's Steve Largent to me too. I was always like almost sounds like Largent, white guy that was a receiver. Reitman again.
Marjoram and Reitman. The Bears are just humping it right down the field.
Loaded with the white tight ends and wideouts.
Give it to Suey now. We'll just ride the white guys down the field.
Exactly. Can we put Andy Frederick back in on the line and or tackle eligible?
Andy, we need it. Can you go deep?
All right. Yeah.
Why is Suey 25 yards down the field on a square end by the tight end?
Now 4 receptions on the game.
Did he run off the sidelines? How do you even get down there that fast? Reitman's over the 100-yard mark for the season for that catch.
No, that was on the season. Apparently.
That's what I mean.
Catches
for the season.
For the season.
That's what a great year he's having. He just got over the 100-yard mark for the year.
Yeah.
It's 16-7.
There's Mike Tomczak.
The Bears lead 16-7.
Standing on the sidelines with his hat on.
Backup quarterback, lucky, just a lucky son of a bitch.
Bears have run 29 plays. They're pass happy. 20 passes.
But as the 49ers know, and everyone
How
else
about
knows,
that?
he's lurking back there.
Take that.
At some point, you just got to give the ball to Walter and get out of the way.
On the sideline.
Yeah, we've already pointed out Ditka. One of it's svelte Ditka, very sharp dressed Ditka.
Second down and 3.
Second down and 3. I think this drive stalls. Not even the. Oh no, sorry, never mind. I always underestimated Payton's ability to grab the first down.
Run the sweep. Walter holds the ball out in front of him with one hand. Like, hey, anybody want to try to steal this from me? And they don't.
Okay, take a good look
Yeah,
now.
the next best thing to growing up, getting to watch Walter Payton is watching these games again on YouTube.
Right here, that gets the play outside.
Chock full of
Look at the pull.
good stuff, even the little
block boards down.
I mean, good blocking, too. I mean, the Bears finally have some supreme, consistent line blocking, making it easier for Payton.
Niners only have 3 first downs.
Oh, Wendell keeps giving the goddamn ball back.
Jeff Stover was the man that made him change direction, and then he got some help. Loss on the play of the yard, back to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, nothing pretty much. That's it.
I was going to say, you would think CBS could put the time up a little more. We're running out of time in the half.
Yeah, they're like things like the Fox box or the score bug so far off. They're still, well, it's only less than 10 years away.
Well, then NBC wouldn't do it for the longest time.
Right. We talked about that, I think, in the Bears-Packers game that we did next week. Or that we did last year, I mean. But yeah, this drive totally stalls. It's worth sticking around to see. All right, so
that's to Willie. He's out of bounds. And he didn't catch the ball.
That's an example of Willie just being too fast. I feel like McMahon just couldn't hang it up for him. You know, like Willie's like got his guy beat, and then he's got to sort of like pull up and it's not a great pass, and then he's already out of bounds.
Actually, both feet were out that time.
But then we get to see curly-haired bastard Maury Buford. I think it's his first punt of the game. But yeah, and Maury's pretty new because he. We discussed it. Dave Finzer was our punter the year before.
Is he pretending to play the sacks yet? Maybe.
No,
that was after the Dolphins.
That wouldn't happen for a few weeks. But the.
Okay, gotta get out of bounds, Jim. Instead, he dives head first where they can still hit him, and he stays in bounds.
Well, staying in bounds isn't a bad thing. Might as well start chewing that clock when you can. You got a 16-0 lead. Buford's relatively new. I don't know if he was on the team even the first game of the season, but he used to be the Chargers punter. But he does something here that would not embarrass the fans because, the Bears are pushing to get their 5th goddamn score on their sixth drive. Or no, every drive they've had, they've scored. So they've scored on four drives. And they push into Niner territory. Maury did have a 69-yard punt the week before. Dick lets us know. But we, kind of let up a little bit on their throat. And Maury puts it right into the end zone for a touchback.
Way to go, Maury. Maury did punt in the opener for the Bears.
He did. Okay, so he was on the team all season, but it seemed like punter was in flux. That was one of the things that they'd swapped out from the year before. Morey does redeem himself two times later in the game. He gets a 60-yarder, and then he does actually cough and corner one. So Morey Buford gets redeemed.
The Bears have done a good job against the 49ers by disrupting their pass pattern. San Francisco works on progression,
so even though the Fresh Prince's cousin or whatever, Carlton Williamson, returns that McMahon ill-fated pass for a pick six, feels like the Bears are still in control. Last drive finally stalled.
The Niners only have 69 yards. Oh, there's 5:20 left. I was thinking that was the time.
Wide open was Francis, bobbled it, but held on.
Yeah, those are great rush. Francis can't even catch it clean.
Juggling it. No, he's a juggler in the offseason.
A lot of plays in for the big tight end.
Wow.
Check the drop on Montana here. Now count the steps. 1, 2, 3. That means it's going to be no longer than 6 yards for a 49er pass.
Yeah, I think we've got another Roger Craig.
Out in the flat after going in motion.
I mean, Craig was kind of a unique player because he caught a lot and he ran a lot on the backfield. This is all a function of Bill Walsh's
offense.
offense.
Montana means it's going to be out around 12 to 16 yards. You can go to the bank on that.
Go to the bank on that. The blood bank.
In motion is Derek Harmon. And Harmon on the receiving end. First down.
Derek Harmon? Is this Ronnie Harmon's brother?
Is it Mark? Maybe related to Mark Harmon, or is it Mark Harmon? Is it Derek Harmon? Could be related to.
Holy shit! Derek Harmon, brother of Ronnie Harmon, went to Cornell. Ever hear of it?
Cornell College in Iowa, or Cornell, the Ivy League school in upstate?
Cornell, the Ivy League.
All right, so there's Roger Craig. I knew it. He had broke off a few. He's pretty much at his peak. San Francisco, like I said, all about Roger Craig. Didn't matter what color you were, what sport you played. You were Roger Craig. That was your name. You're going to be big at San Fran in the 80s.
And I'll tell you, in a great block by Randy Cross over here, the right guard.
Randy Cross?
Oh, great block by Randy Cross. Screw him.
On the linebacker, Wilbur
I said Randy Cross, too.
Take a look.
I'm not going to give Randy Cross credit for that.
That's not a great block. He schemed for that. He said he'd get in the way.
All right. Randy Cross, he's not a Hall of Famer. No, better not be. Hall of Fame blowhard.
Time for Wendell. You want to fumble again? Kill this drive.
Yeah, Dick sounds so surprised, not from the 8-yard burst, because he didn't fumble during that play. A little bit disconcerting that the Niners are, moving the ball. There's still that fear. Bears are undefeated coming in. But you got to really stab that vampire in the heart. They haven't done it.
He lost to Game 6. Wendell has lost 6 fumbles this year already.
Actually ahead of his pace. Yeah. Career pace being 60%.
What was the plan, to call an audible against the regular defense and just try to attack the 46?
What does that mean?
Plays called in the huddle against the 46. They're going to audible.
Yeah, it doesn't work when your linemen make a pre-snap penalty.
More cheating.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people talk about the 46 and still don't exactly know what it is. And I'm not even sure I know what it is. I just think it's like when you have 11 ridiculous fucking world-class athletes on defense and you can just fucking send everybody. I know it's oversimplified, but there is a point if we get to it where other teams try to emulate it. Just didn't have the personnel.
That was a nice catch by Roger Craig.
I mean, and a good
Wilson
pass.
All over it. He's still caught.
Yeah, you can't blame Otis for the coverage.
That was a pretty good throw by who's the quarterback for the Niners? Joe somebody.
Matt Cavanaugh. I'm sorry, he's their backup. Future Bears, two-time future Bears. DeBerg had moved on to Tampa, but it was after he had that weird voice box. He had that when he was in San Fran.
That's right.
DeBerg ended up playing all the way to like 1990 for the Chiefs. Yeah. Dick Stockton is very excited every time he mentions Mike Wilson's name, by the way.
Yeah, he owes him.
Finally. Good time for a second sack. They got him earlier, but That's it. Got to kill this drive. Niners are getting confident again.
Has been kind of slow getting underway this year. Of course, he's looking for contract negotiation. Gets a sack here.
Who's looking for a contract negotiation? Otis
didn't catch it. Maybe. Could be Otis's 6th year.
Richard.
Yeah, he did it again. Yeah, Richard, not Jim.
Jim down.
So we're feeling good now. What do we got? Third down here? Yeah, 3rd and 6. But you're not going to kill him. There's the rookie. That's Rice showing a flash of his future. Pretty well positioned. Caught it clean.
I never thought he was that good.
On a little turnout.
It was.
You got to show me something, Jerry.
First NFL start. Again, fun fact.
What was our stat? We look back, like if he had only played the first 4 years of his career, he'd have been the all-time leading receiver for the Bears. The first 3. I don't think he got to 4 years. It was like some game during his 3rd year he would have passed Johnny Morris.
Yeah, see, Montana had to rush that one.
That's a great shot of Joe, just lifeless, laying on the ground. Wilbur standing over.
Yeah, because why? Yeah.
Looking move there.
Yeah, well, we'll watch it. We'll get to see the replay. Right, he doesn't have enough time, though, is the point, and Wilbur gets him pretty good, too. Clean hit, even by today's standards. Clean and on time. Yeah, Wilbur, believe me, Wilbur's really moving around this field.
With 2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the first half, the Bears lead it 16-7. Swing pass, and there's Tyler.
Oh, there's a face mask.
Accidental. Doesn't matter. Do they make the distinction now between the 5 yards?
No, there is no more 5 yards. Every face mask is 15.
Because it wasn't violent, it wasn't malicious. He just happened to reach out and grab the face mask. Poor Otis. Otis having a little rough series here. He covered Craig like a blanket, and Craig still caught it, and then he manages.
I like the Singletary's complaining.
It wasn't a flagrant play.
Yeah, it's just a 5 yard.
He barely twisted his head. What are you going to call that?
Face mask, 5-yard penalty, enforced from the end of the run. Repeat, 2nd down.
All right, so still not a first down at least.
Number 33 drifting through 55. Look at nobody around him. Wendell Tyler inside.
That's holy shit. That's a 5-yarder. Wendell was looking out of his ear hole.
Right, but it was incidental.
Yeah,
he just reached his hand out.
They don't have to be on purpose to be 15 yards.
It'll be 2nd and 2 for the 49ers when we return.
Niners have to call timeout because Wendell's nose is still sticking out of the side of his helmet.
Right, except it's actually a 2-minute warning.
Going to have to grease it up, spinning on his head.
And when we talked about Bill Walsh saying that this is a game of matchups more than any other, he was specifically referring to Roger Craig.
It really was. He says, if I can get Roger Craig on anybody, I'll take the edge in that matchup.
Bit of a factor now at this point.
Same way, and they've been getting it, and you saw what an influence.
Roger Craig, probably not even close to a Hall of Fame running back, but for like 3 or 4 years, he was a pretty unique, elite player. And again, the function of Bill Walsh's offense.
The play, and it'll be
kind of a scheme player, maybe.
Dan Hampton making the tackle. Roger Craig, top receiver in the NFC coming into this game.
Dan Hampton,
top receiver in the NFC, he's running back.
Well,
there's a guy on this team.
Receptions or receiving yards, which is
there's a guy on
the
Niners team, Earl Cooper, who's listed as a tight end. He's featured later. But he was a rookie in 1980, and he set the record for receptions by a running back, and he did it as a rookie.
Wendell, they had him in the backfield, and he squeezed out.
And he held on to the ball.
First down, but we may have a measurement first. Mike Richardson made the tackle.
It's like they're short.
And a lot of ad-libbing by Wendell Tyler on a sweep.
And they're just going to give it to him?
The 49ers have called a timeout.
The angle that CBS just showed, it looked like they were about a half a yard short. Ref looks down and is like, first down. Line.
Well, it was 1985.
In the first half, and it is a first down for San Francisco.
All right,
Well,
1:13 left in the second quarter.
Short yardage situation now. Look how
well, they get them into a third down situation right now.
Cross gets his block, but Wendell slips and trips on the back of Randy Cross's legs.
I know it's
around, fights forward.
It looked like Randy Cross fell down on his own and almost tripped one, not the other way around.
Total offense here, and you can see
things
the
are tide is shifting. The Bears been outgained 107 to 32 in the second quarter.
Tale of two quarters. Bears punched him in the mouth, and now Niners aren't going to go away quietly.
Just think all the Bear fans at home, we're going to lose.
Because he doesn't know which way he's going to make his cut right away. He doesn't
see it coming.
He and Wendell talked with each other in the Pro Bowl game. He says, take with Wendell Tyler as a running back. He just has that style where the ball hangs out a little bit.
Just has that style where he fumbles all the time.
He just has that style. He just puts the ball on the ground.
He likes to give the ball. He's a giving person. He likes to give the ball away. It's like Santa Claus.
You just got to live with it. That could have been Jerry Rice's. I don't know if it would have been his first NFL touchdown. He may have had one by then, but it is funny to watch Jerry here, his first NFL start. He had played before.
We'll get a better look than anybody.
He's got a couple of steps on Leslie Frazier.
Montana pumped and looked left, and it's on the ground. Good call.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, they never got a good look. It could have been legit.
Looked like Jerry caught that.
Rice has caught 2 passes for 25 yards.
Anytime you watch any of these games nowadays, you always wonder, how could have history have been altered in the
stopped for
replay?
15 minutes, and they had 12 angles of it.
I mean, Montana 10 of 14, anyone yard.
And then the Niners are cheating again.
Don't worry. Yeah, it's on the Niners.
Back them up.
They are hilariously verklempt. Even though they're pushing their way back in this game, they can't help themselves.
And it's Farnhorst again. 7 penalties.
Farnhorst again.
7 penalties on the Niners in the first half.
Farnhorst has a tough job. Now,
way to go. Typically undisciplined Bill Walsh team.
It's great.
It's like
it's just
another.
another.
Oh, they're playing the Niners.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to get a little extra start on that, probably because that's such a tough.
Yeah, he wanted to get a little head start because he's getting his ass blown up every play by.
And you'll see it in this game in the second half, but eventually, and you'll see it for every game from this era. Yeah, that's satisfying. But eventually, the defense just gets more and more menacing as the game goes on. It's great. So this is one of the worst sacks for Montana here. Gets hit pretty hard, and he didn't hit that hard, but he loses about 7 or 8. So that's third and 23 coming up, I think. Half is running out there, kind of out of field goal range. Everyone's sweating about Ray Wersching trying to kick a 48-yarder, I think. And so he makes that play.
If he kicked it and you let him kick it a second time for where the first one landed, he still wouldn't make it.
Right.
It was like the mascot. Remember they had the little bearded.
Right. It looks like he's going to get
prospector.
He's going to get fed with summer sausage and ale if he kicks it to the upright. That's correct. All right. So we have to watch this next seemingly meaningless Bears drive before the half because it's peak Ditka. I don't know if you caught this when you watch it, but just for context, San Fran's back in the game. It's 16-10. It might as well be halftime. I don't know how much time is left. 40 seconds. But the Bears apparently have 2 timeouts.
We get field goal range.
Well, okay, it's 1985.
No, it's stupid. Yeah, right.
They
are. So the Bears are kicking off though. To start the second half.
No, this is we're in the first. We're still at the end of the first half.
This
is what I'm saying.
But if all you do is run it out, you're giving the Niners the ball back. They're going to have the lead.
Right.
Got to go for it.
But nothing happens on the kickoff except for Galt returns it a few yards. But you got to it's just hilarious when they actually set up in their offense. And we don't have to watch Matt Cavanaugh just chatting with Joe Montana.
Yeah, we do. The folks at home are loving it. Sitting there listening to the podcast,
just letting the tape run, not fast forwarding
at all. Are they even watching a game?
Right. Yes, Wersching kicks off. Nothing significant will happen for 25 seconds.
Is that Pinky?
Right.
Oh, you
right.
would have made me miss
Hey.
Pinky. God damn it.
Hey,
This is why we're
when
watching
Vic
this.
Tabak comes on my TV screen,
Nancy
nobody
McKeon's brother.
talks. So, right. There are 45 seconds to go. The Bears are up by 6. All right. A little scary.
They're on
that they didn't
their,
call 'em
what,
out.
they're on their
Own
own
20.
19, the 20.
Yeah, they're inside their own 20.
Throw it.
They have the
Run that
they
play
have the
again where
lead.
McMahon just blindly heaves it down the middle of the field. Maybe it'll work this time.
That might work. But what's funny instead is I'm not sure what's going on here. They show us, not that you'd think there'd be much strategy left. The Bears, in fact, do have 2 timeouts left. The Niners, totally irrelevant.
They're on their
Timeout
18.
left. Bill Walsh is like, I got to piss. I got to go to the bat. I don't know why what happens here happens, but on first down.
Little swing pass to Suey. He can't get out of bounds, so Gabriel call that timeout.
Right. Clock runs.
Oh, here we go. We're going to hurry up.
Yep,
Hurry up.
offense.
We can still get 6 plays off.
We get the hurry up offense.
Yeah.
All
They're
right,
not really
Dick is
hurrying,
being
though.
aggressive.
They're just not huddling.
So their offense has been better.
20 down to 22
10 seconds
They
from the
finally
end of that
snapped it.
play.
Now
And
they're going
then
to throw
Suey
a
again.
4-yard pass to Suey again. And he's
Takes
gonna
a hit. Fights for the
Gets
first down.
he's a little short of a first down. 12 seconds. Better call timeout. You're on the 27. All right. We got a 73-yard play. It's going to be great.
It's great. I think it.
I like that, Dick. And they still have 1 timeout left. That's good. With 12 seconds to go in the half.
Well,
This is gonna come
listen. Well, no. All right, last week. I think they actually talked about what were they thinking, how to set up a point here. Maybe it's after the next play.
McMahon even goes. He walks to the sidelines and nobody talks to him. He just walks right back to the huddle.
What is going on there? I like that, by the way. McMahon thought of himself as what did they say? The injury proneness of Joe Namath, the belly of Sonny Jurgensen, or the spiral of Sonny Jurgensen, and the scrambling ability of Fran Tarkenton. I like that.
Fran Tarkenton because he wanted.
All right, so you jumped ahead, by the way.
Oh, I did.
What happened was that.
Oh, 4 seconds.
So we wasted all that time watching Matt Cavanaugh chat up Joe Montana on the sideline. We missed that after this timeout. They come out. This is not the last play of the quarter.
Oh, no, they got another timeout left.
They have another timeout. But then I see it. Wow.
So they gave Suey the first down on that? They're not measuring anything. He was short.
I know. But look,
and they call timeout with
another
4 seconds
timeout.
to go on
Another
the
timeout.
35-yard line.
So he did that just to get. He did that just to get Payton some more yards. But then, of course, I have to imagine he did it also just to piss off Bill Walsh for God knows what reason. He's just Ditka's just being Ditka here. I don't know, maybe keep them on the field for as many plays as you can because we just want to pull you up and punch you down and keep pulling you up and punching you down. I don't know. It's just hilarious. At the end of the first half, Bears had the lead. There's no strategy to actually scoring here. So he insists on just running the clock down.
Here we go. We're going to heave it all the way down. Nope. We're going to throw another screen.
More yards for Wally.
Walter, all he's got to do is break 11 tackles, and he's out at the 44-yard line.
It's just great. It's benign. It's insignificant otherwise, but it's hilarious that at the end of the first half, Ditka just fucks around like that.
So we get to halftime, 16-10, Bears. And that's a good time to tell you, football fans, the first Sunday of the NFL season is here. And DraftKings, the Casino Queen Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving new customers a can't-miss offer to celebrate the return of the NFL season. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. And as an added bonus for Week 1, everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's simple. Bet an NFL team to win, and if your team leads by 10 at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses.
Wasn't it 7 last week?
7.1 is for the game on Thursday night, the opener.
Got it. Thank you.
This 10.1 is for any game. Anyone. Just pick out a matchup you like. You're good to go. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code POINTLESS to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet this Sunday. That's code POINTLESS. Only at DraftKings Casino Queen Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537. 21 or older, Illinois only. Bonus issued is free bets. One early win token issued at opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. So there you go. Bet $5
Well
for $200. Pick a team you think will get a 10-point lead. Once they get a 10-point lead, they can fuck off and lose the game. You still win. I mean, come on.
And
how can you beat that?
If you're out there, Arch Leister, there's still a chance to get it all back.
I'm sure his that's probably a violation of Art's parole, but it wouldn't be the first time.
I would imagine so. I want to make sure Art's not dead. It could be, you know. So, yeah, Bears nursing a 6-point lead at halftime. Better than losing like they were 6-0 the year before.
No, at halftime, apparently Irv Cross was talking about a thigh bruise. I didn't get to see that. There's nothing I'd love to see more than Irv talking about thigh bruise.
Irv and his parted hair.
They had to put the glove
Talking
on
about
Roger
it, yeah.
Craig and Dwight Clark. Clark has caught 3 passes for 27 yards. So the two guys that they really wanted to
The iconic
they've done a good job.
Dwight Clark, of
Defensive
course,
said
and
those
the
two guys will
Vince
bleed
Scully broadcast catch.
I like that the benches, the candlestick, are basically park benches. Probably permanently cemented into the grass.
I like that too.
Tate Walter looks like he's going to feed pigeons over there.
Second half is underway.
All right, so the Bears are kicking off.
The Niners do get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah.
No wonder Ditko is furiously trying, like you said.
And here's Ricky Waters running way back out to the third. Oh, no, that's right.
Soon.
That's Monroe.
Thomas Sanders, but a good run back of 40 yards.
Oh, Monroe.
By
Carl Monroe, they're in business, although Carl doesn't seem to know where he is.
Yeah.
Tried to get up, he fell down.
And we have an official's time.
Well, tough shit, Carl.
All right, watch this now. There's another Wilbur moment coming up here. Not going to take any shit from Dwight Clark, I think.
Pass is caught by
Jerry Rice.
Maybe that.
That's
That's what it
rookie
is.
from Mississippi Valley State. Whatever happened to him?
Yeah, I don't recall after this game.
Clark is isolated bottom of the screen. Zone defense, short help there in front. You see that the defensive back slipped back there. Clark turned up.
Pretty tight window.
Pass. That was a regular 4-3
Watch this.
defense.
Oh, look at this.
Rather
Cheap
right.
shot from
Now
Dwight
here's
Clark.
Bumping around with Wilbur Marshall.
Wilbur said, you just made the list, buddy.
Now watch Wilbur on this next play.
Cooper joins Russ Francis. 2 tight ends. First
Yes, you folks at home listening to this on the podcast, watch this next play.
Watch.
Montana chase.
I feel like Ron
Good
Santo.
rush by McMichael. And here comes Wilbur Marshall, and Montana is tackled out of bounds.
That would have got him suspended. So he chases Joe to the sidelines. He doesn't like smack him, but when Joe's out of bounds, he grabs him and twirls him to the ground. Wilbur's like, "What? Don't boo me."
I'm just struck that Wilbur's fucking fired up. He's not taking shit from Dwight Clark on the play before. He's not taking shit from Montana.
Hey, the Niners were the thing in between the Bears and the Super Bowl last year. They're not taking any shit from these guys.
And Wilbur's on the bench.
That's 30 yards worth of penalties. I mean, Wilbur does that on Sunday.
Maybe.
He's forced some mistakes. Had some
This is
sacks.
just.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Montana up the middle.
Oh,
Yeah.
John Frank, go become a doctor, you pansy.
John Frank.
Backup tight end John Frank dropped.
Right.
What would have been
Now
a first
is
down.
it? Now is it? Yeah. So I have a question though. Is that really John Frank? All right, watch him bobble that ball. All right. Is that really John Frank? I'd like to think now is the time or is that Ian Zierning from Beverly Hills 90210?
It is, and it's about the right age. Ian was in his 40s.
Right.
When
So-
90210 was on. Hey, Tyrone Keys is in finally.
Go
Okay,
number
buddy,
98.
you can rotate your linemen. It wouldn't kill you.
You know, God, the Niners are just so annoying. You know,
Nice
you just
little
can't.
hits Wendell in stride. Basically catches it for him. The pass is so perfect. There's a first down.
Well, they obviously didn't expect a blitz because they put both backs out in this pattern. Tyler and Craig run a crossing pattern over the middle. Tyler running from left to right in front of Singletary. And makes a good effort here at the end. And the 49ers.
49ers have the ball. It's the Bears 38.
Tyler with his 3rd reception of the ball.
Trying to take the lead. They made it to the infield, right where Dwayne Kuiper standing there just a week before.
That's right. Well, yeah, he used Johnny. Man, Robbie Thompson may have gotten it. Well, Robbie Thompson may have gotten a cup of coffee. No, Dwayne Kuiper, I bet he was with the Giants around then. He was at the end of his career. He was an Indian when he hit a homer off a stone.
That was before he was.
But
yeah, 85 was his last season. He tells funny stories about that. They put him on the DL at the beginning of the season to get him enough days to get his 10-year pension. Don Bob Nightingale would have been very thrilled. And then the day he comes off, the manager tells him, Dwayne's like saying goodbye to everybody. He's like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "Well, you're waving me, right?" I said, "No, we're keeping you." And he goes, "I had to play for another month."
He didn't want to play anymore.
He's literally told me, "I haven't been working out. I haven't even taken batting practice."
So this is a pretty huge 26-yard pickup by Roger Craig. Busted play.
Yeah.
McMichael gets tackled by the offensive lineman, so that's not fair. But there is a penalty marker now. It's just not the one. Kind of a pivotal moment here because they're one score down, a chance to take the lead. Craig took the ball all the way inside.
Who was the penalty on? Wendell Tyler.
Yep.
Offensive pass interference on Wendell Tyler.
Yep. Wendell's not having himself that great of a game. He's getting a lot of yards and shit. 2 turnovers. That's a big.
And that's the kind of pass.
And I'm guessing that's the kind of pass interference that wasn't even a factor on the game. It seemed like that was a pretty clear-cut game.
Less than 12 and a half to go, third quarter. As you look at the story today in the penalty department, and the 49ers have had the short end.
But you will see in the second half here, the defense starts getting more and more pressure with each drop back.
Gets hit, but gets it off to Jerry Rice. Penalty flag is down.
Another gain to Jerry and another penalty.
Yes. Guess who this one's on?
Gary Fensick is. No, but Gary says it's on the Niners.
But watch this.
Holding number 51.
Randy Cross. Going to offset.
That's okay. Worth it, right? Worth it.
McMichael, personal foul, and Randy Cross. Again.
McMichael, that's worth it, right? Get away, especially if it's offsetting.
Number 51. That's McMichael, 76. See the hand on the back, on the numbers. Now there's
Cross is fine. What is that? Cross is fine. They already called Cross for holding, tackling him. I think Michael's so awesome.
So Michael's being held, but he manages to hit Joe right in the face.
Right. Enough to that is Mongo. That right there, that's Alex Karras.
Yeah, it's a siege on every play now. Niners line is being pushed right back into Joe's lap on every play.
And it affected him on that pass, man. He had a wide open Roger Craig in the flat, and he was rattled. He's finally feeling it. The great Joe Montana. Even Joe Montana is feeling the effects of the. This is the only time, really, in his career that there was a game in '83 that Stockton refers to, but
they're not as easy as they look because you have to touch them.
They're not, but.
And things like that, but he makes those.
What do you say? You have to touch him? Is he still thinking about the minor club?
Might be. But that's a great sign because Montana in the first half makes that pass. I guarantee you.
Another play, and there's Joe running for his life again. It's a nice play, Craig.
Yeah, you got to tip your hat to Joe.
The 50 in Chicago territory, and maybe another flag down.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Niners are cheating again.
This time it's against the Bears.
No, this one's on.
Oh, for once. For once.
It's not like this. They don't do this anymore, right? Don't they just de facto now they ask the coach? Joe's the captain, so the ref goes and asks Joe.
Right.
I'm sorry. Whether they want the penalty.
I just wanted to reiterate again that Dick just said that Mike Ditka was appointed by George Halas. It's not the Naval Academy.
It was an appointment. They had to vote. And
but yeah, I think from here too, you see Montana running for his life with each drop back. It's fun. You see it again. Most of the 85 games are on YouTube, guys. So you'll see a lot of the same stuff.
Great defense by Richardson.
Jumped ahead there.
Penalties, 3 straight spotted it for 9.
Yep, we're all over the place.
Ken Taylor back for Chicago.
So anyway, third down pass. Mike Richardson knocked it away, and then we get to see my buddy Ken Taylor returning a punt for the Bears, and he catches it and goes right out of bounds. That doesn't seem like this one.
Right at the 10-yard line, and that's where the Bears
No.
will take over 1st and 10 when we come back to Candlestick Park.
Now look out when we come back from commercial break. Shield your eyes. Wait, maybe it's later. There's a very obnoxious shot of some fans coming up here, and it's really stupid. What's
They
the
came back for one
timestamp?
commercial, and they had they found a very attractive young. Looked like a young.
They did.
Zuniga.
Right, earlier we were too decent to have mentioned it. Of
Bears
course,
are
the Bears
12-1 when leading at the half over the last 2 seasons, and 12-1 when they outsacked the opponents. This one's in the bag. They got both of those.
You'd think so. They haven't quite salted it away though. So Payton, pretty pedestrian carry there, but
Gain of 5. Dick, I think maybe it was 2.
seems pretty generous. Seems pretty generous, if you ask me.
Lining up almost 2 steps in front of Payton at the fullback spot there. Almost turns into like the one-back offense that the Washington Redskins run or Atlanta run.
With Riggo the Piggo. There.
Oh, there we go. Still
Look at
number
that.
1. A bunch
Still
of
number
shirtless,
1.
A bunch of shirtless,
Right.
very mustachioed men. I don't want to stereotype in San Francisco, but I would guess that they went to a bathhouse and painted each other. And the way the two guys were standing together with the L's, it looked like it said like that was a U,
Right.
not an L.
Right. Why is there a V in there? Right. That's right. How do you underthrow?
Marjoram had his man beat, and Jimmy couldn't get it to it. Come on.
Yeah, not a great pass from Jimmy Mack. He did have him beat. He turned him around. Actually, Martin, yeah, it was underthrown. There's a later one on Martin.
If that was the back shoulder, which honestly back then was just you underthrew it.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there's Ken. That's a nice glamour shot of Ken.
You sure
Marjoram.
got a purty mouth. Ken Marjoram's CBS profile, not very flattering.
Ken was 60 Minutes did a special episode on Ken, and they were trying to track his whereabouts when all of the Zodiac murders happened.
That's right. That's right.
Bears are slinging it.
Yeah, but they're
It looked
stalling.
like he had the inside receiver open, but he threw it to Willie.
They
The
can't.
momentum is turned, and oh no,
Yeah, they can't put the Bears can't put the game away. Yeah, the momentum turned with that pick 6, and then the offense stopped moving.
That's all right. Maury Buford's in. Maury's going to. Clint Thrift is blocking for Maury Buford. Ron Rivera, Jim Morrissey, all the stars are in. On this
Oh yeah,
punt.
special
They're gonna
team
be
is
fine.
good. Yeah.
Suey, the personal protector.
The up back.
Even Wilbur is on the punt team. How'd you like to see Wilbur running his ass down the middle of the field anyway, trying to catch a punt?
That would look like
Nice play by Pinky. He was down.
Pinky has to tackle him twice.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a very nice tackle by Pinky.
And it was a great punt by Buford. So a little bit of redemption for booting in the end zone earlier. 56-yard punt. That's what they need. Flip the field a little bit. Let's put that Bear defense back to work.
Maury got the Bears out of trouble.
He's starting to now.
So yeah, so this was obviously the big statement win because it was against the Niners. But it was just a few weeks later they would go to Dallas.
Yes.
And
well,
that was the moment when the rest of the country went, oh shit.
Yeah,
the Bears are going to be a problem.
Right. Exactly. This was still the early ascension of the team.
This was
itself.
just a really good win. Early season,
Yeah,
good win.
exactly. It was solid.
When
They had to deal with a little bit of adversity. They had Payton to help salt it away.
And then when they obliterated America's team,
yes,
44 to
that
nothing.
was it. And let's be real. Dallas really was not on the level of the Niners and Redskins and the Giants and the Bears, but they were in that Rams Vikings category. They were good.
Look at that! Oh, Kenny got to catch that.
Kenny
that was
should have
another
caught that.
ill-advised pass by McMahon, just winging
No,
it down
but
the
he
middle
put
of the
it-
field.
he-
But
but
Ken
he-
was
but he-
hit Ken on the hands.
Jimmy did put it on the spot.
Guy was falling down. McMahon was falling down. Look at this.
And I don't know if you heard this, but Kenny Margin played at Stanford.
Into the post, move right
I hadn't
there,
heard.
get him
And
going,
played for Bill Walsh and could have scored a touchdown here if he stayed on his feet.
Come on, Ken, you got to catch that.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that
That's why he switched to the black shoes in the Super Bowl. Couldn't drop that if he had the black shoes on. Boy, they're showing that picture of Ken a lot.
That's what I mean. It's almost like, have you seen this man?
Put that picture in your garden to keep the pests out.
Cruised together a couple of years ago, and Keena Turner says that Walter Payton is a practical joker about 32 hours a day.
And he said Walter got claustrophobia on that cruise, too.
What? Wait, did Keena Turner get trapped? Did Walter get trapped?
Keena said our room was a little snug. Me and Walter. Like, wait, what? Did the families go on a cruise, Dick, or was it just Keena and Walter?
Please clarify.
There's so many questions.
Haven't had a score in this third quarter.
Was it an all-boys cruise?
Nice try here. Willie, of course, can't finish, and of course that's because Ronnie Lott
That feels
is
like a Dennis McKinnon play that they just said, well, Willie can run it.
Right, because Silky D's hurt. That's why Marvin.
You're going to run the guy who never wants to make any contact on a sweep. He's not exactly 1985 Debo. Oh, Ronnie Lott's down. Are they going to have to cut any of his fingers off?
That's a good thing that happened on this play. It's Ronnie Lott.
Did Willie take him out?
Apparently.
Is this like Ted Willie running over Yadier Molina?
Right, like
looks like Ronnie hurt himself.
As I said, he's nursing a sore shoulder.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, tough shit.
It's been a rough year so
take
far.
2 weeks
again,
off.
yeah, great player. I'll give him his props, but I just want nothing. I hated him. He didn't play for my team. So Bears have a 4th and 2 coming up. This seems sort of unusual for the time. Fucking Ditka really wants to win this game. Yeah, he wants to win this game. That's kind of rare. It's a 49. Actually, if any time ever there was a time to do this in '85, it'd be here. 49er field goal is too far.
4th and a long short 2. Okay, thanks, Nick. Suey picks it up.
Well, it's a gutsy call. Early Mike Ditka was actually a decent coach. Yeah, so it gets nullified. By the way, the what did he say? The early short, the short. What did Stockton say there?
It's a long short.
Long short. That was
4th and a long short 2.
When Stockton was much older and dementia-riddled as a baseball broadcaster, calling Cubs left fielder Alfonso Adolfo, there's a famous clip of him from like 20 years ago where he's 3-2, crowds on the feet, ball 4, strike 3. Chip Carey. But that was very much, this was 1985 Dick Stockton. There's no excuse to do that for
What do you call here? He's getting, Jimbo is getting, okay.
He kind of swung him down.
It's a
little bit of a. It's basically it would have been fine if no. Well, it would have been fine if no call was made, right? Because the defensive tackle was pretty well engaged with Jimbo too.
Yeah, he started. He was getting kind of mauled, and he just grabbed him by the shirt and pulled him down on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to see more Buford at work. That's even better.
But
look at that punt.
Another redemption.
He bounced sideways at the 5, and Wilbur is the guy to down the punt.
Once again, because Wilbur's playing like Jefferson.
That. Woo.
Yeah, Morey has basically redeemed himself since that first punt. Good. Worst starting position for the Niners.
There's Wendell. Wendell's due for a fumble.
We're getting the Bill Reed, Jim McMahon story coming up.
Look at the dude on the Bears sideline with his shirt undone.
I know.
His knit to his navel. Woo!
Is that Steve Kazer's nephew? Who is that guy? Here comes the.
Now we're breaking out all the stops.
Here's the benign Jim McMahon Bill Reed story.
Look at that neck roll. Holy shit. He's all neck roll. It's like a neck roll with feet.
Mark Kelso.
Same as running plays, only it's just a short pass.
Bill Ring roomed one year with Jim McMahon at Brigham Young.
He's still hungover.
McMahon said he'd come in after having some fun at 2 o'clock in the morning, and Ring would be studying. And then he said Ring had signs up on the ceiling above his bunk, and they would say, "I'm going to be in the NFL someday. I'm going to be in the NFL someday."
And he would masturbate to it constantly.
It was a struggle.
He's had a lot of rough spots along the way. 1st and 10 at the 22 and a jump pass.
Almost picked off.
Jerry Rice covered by Leslie.
Rice got a lot of action.
Frazier was all over it. Leslie's done a nice job on Jerry.
I wonder
Leslie
if
was
Bill
good
White,
until the Bears ran a reverse.
well, until Steve Cagor got cute in the Super Bowl. I'm just wondering if Bill Rings Wall also had surveillance photos of scouts that he was hoping to help get him in the NFL.
Yep.
I will play in the
Who was
NFL.
a holdout, as well as Al Harris.
Yeah.
Main holdout.
Joe
Consistent
Montana,
theme
15 to
being
24 for 140 yards. Not exactly chucking it down the field, are you, Jim?
No.
Gary Fensick giving somebody the business after the play.
Good thing you didn't get a flag for that.
One of the best middle linebackers.
Is this the third down? True. And Singletary's still at his peak. He just had a short peak. He was just so undersized.
That time he did, and he fought over it, jumps over the pile, and still makes the tackle.
He benefited from those big beef steaks that were lined up in front of him. Not to take anything away from him.
In a game we did in Chicago, he had 12
Like, he still peaked Singletary 8.5. When we did the 91 game, it was definitely different. And look how mad he is.
Yeah, he throws a fit. I didn't get this. Did he think he was going to catch it?
Yeah, Dick thinks so.
Singletary couldn't catch anything.
Nope, famously.
So there's the NFL has a podcast called The NFL Explained. Basically, that's what they do. They take things you've always wondered, and they devote like a half hour and they explain it. And this week was about the start of a season. And Mike Robinson, who used to play quarterback at Penn State but played fullback in the NFL, was on. He was talking about playing on. He got drafted by the Niners with Mike Nolan. And then in year 2, his head coach was Mike Singletary. And he's like, you have to play extra hard when the coach isn't a guy who drafted you. He has no loyalty to you. And, but he said he really liked Mike. And I called him Singy at one point, which I thought was really funny. I don't think anybody ever called Mike Singletary.
You're a hockey player?
But he was talking about how Mike Martz was Singletary's offensive coordinator.
Okay.
And how Martz would act like such a dick. Like, he'd get exasperated with something Singletary was saying. He would like turn his back to him in practice, and how he goes, the players fucking hated Mike Martz. And it actually made them play harder for Singletary because he was showing up. You could tell he's a guy, I've won a Super Bowl.
No
shit. Yeah, well, you're lucky to be an offensive coordinator now.
Imagine being that contemptuous. Yeah.
And that was all put into perspective when Martz was going off the other day about how the Bears had the worst collection of offensive talent since the 0-16.
All right. That's enough about Mike Martz.
I want to talk about. I got a good 40 minutes on Mike Martz starting right.
We'll have to save it. So the Bears have the ball back, their 10th drive, and we watch this play. Fans at home, wide receiver screen. I literally thought Gary Crowton introduced that at the end of the
to Kenny Marjoram, and it's a first down.
Yeah, well played. Attaboy, Ed Hughes. Ahead of your time.
Well, Gary Crowton ran the bubble screen, where they
had a whole coterie of blockers surrounding the
right. The whole play was set up to get like your tight end and at least one of your wide receivers out in front as the screen was. It's a really good play. The problem was it was the only play Gary had, so he ran it like 15 times a game, and after the third time, the other team figured out what it was.
Right. Yeah, Gunther Cunningham was fooled, but other coaches caught up.
Right. Gunther couldn't figure it out all day. Gunther couldn't figure that one out. Week 2,
God bless you.
like, yeah, we can stop this.
God bless Matsui, by the way. Just a bull-like 17-yard run.
17 yards in all to the 46-yard line. Ronnie Lott finally
Keep the clock, keep the chains moving. Still only a 16-10 game here. So.
Are the Niners going to start running the 46 just to give the Bears the
There's some bullshit. There's some bullshit here that I wanted to unpack.
Oh, the
What's
Navajo.
I don't remember the Navajo.
I don't know, but the Navajo didn't catch it.
Let's see a 46 defense by another name.
Yep, you bet.
What?
A lot of people are doing it. Atlanta's doing it. Take a look
What?
right here.
Yeah, Atlanta did so well.
Here you've got your two linebackers side by side, and in the
Yeah,
middle,
the Lehman Bennett.
3 men covering the guard to tackle in the center. Same way the Bears run it, just a different name.
Okay. 46 is nothing. It's just
Yeah, you can line up, and you don't have
the personnel.
You don't have Otis and Wilbur and Dan Hampton and Richard Dent and Steve McMichael. So good luck running that shit.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to get that out there because I'm like, that's bullshit.
Anybody can run anybody else's defense. It doesn't mean it's going to work.
They give it to Suey.
Navajo defense. My insanity.
Why Navajo?
All right, wait.
What's the significance of the Navajo?
I don't know.
Were they noted for their...
Get to the 25-yard line.
I don't like all-out blitzing of people.
It's like when they were fighting U.S. soldiers, they would overload one side of the battlefield.
Right. Yeah, just confuse them.
I'm
and
sure
just use
Bill
the
had some bullshit story about that. Oh, no, it's famous.
You know he did.
He's pseudo-intellectual jackass.
Yeah. He's the erudite football coach.
Started this second half. There's the gun.
All right, so we made it to the fourth quarter.
All right, still
I haven't.
What are these guys talking about?
Bears are up 16-10 and driving.
As Howard David might say, Bears now moving from left to right on your radio dial.
Here goes McMahon. He's going to run it.
All right, now that's the late hit, but that is nothing compared to two earlier late hits.
Oh, Dick is fired up. Drinks are on me on the plane, boys. Yeah, given the other shit they let Ronnie get away with.
Well, this wasn't Ronnie. This was Eric Wright.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
this
why.
was actually Eric Wright.
That's why.
But they hit it. Yeah, you're right.
They would have let Ronnie would have got
right
away
in the face. Ronnie had two legit fucking questionably.
Oh, the Niner fans are swearing.
Yeah. Piling on. Or Fuller. It's Jeff Fuller, not Eric Wright.
Jeff Fuller, who finished it off and was called.
Let's see here.
All right.
There's Ronnie with getting a little extra business, and then no, that's fine. You
Yeah,
don't get to hit if he's on the
fine.
ground.
Yeah.
Screw you, Niners. You deserve it.
And actually, Wesley, I keep on calling him Wes Welker, but Wayne Walker, he actually agrees. Yeah. Even if it was soft.
First and 10 at the 10. Looks like they can get a first down at like the inch line. There's Walter. Run for a couple of yards.
Yeah. Wait, what? What did Dick say?
The Niners have an aroused defense.
Dick?
They're heading to the end with the minor club.
Another look at that personal foul call on Jim McMahon.
Oh, let's watch it again. His foul was not on Jim McMahon.
On the tackle of McMahon on the scramble.
Exactly.
And then at the end
Good
of it,
point.
they call 49 coming in late.
That's a soccer thing you got to get used to when you watch soccer. If they say that a foul was on someone, they mean that was the guy who got fouled.
Oh, wow.
Which actually, I guess, kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's a foul. The foul was on him.
In basketball, if his foul is on you, that means you got called for the foul. Willie,
it's funny that Willie.
It's funny you could have caught that. That wouldn't have
Willie only caught one touchdown in 1985.
That's
Even though
why.
he caught a lot of touchdowns in '83, he caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. There are a lot of, like in this game, there are near touchdowns he just didn't get. It's just a funny thing.
He's got both hands on it. He might have been.
Who's covering him there? That wasn't Lod that was covering him.
Oh, he's hurt.
I
Willie's
think
hurt.
I
He dropped
pulled
it, so he's hurt.
rib muscle.
Oh, no.
Right.
Remember what Jim McMahon said about Willie when Willie went off to LA to be an actor? Well, he's been acting like a football player for 8 years. So
Wow, that's harsh. True, but harsh. Yeah, Bears getting pushed back. Yeah, we just need to get Kevin Butler on the field and get another. Make it a 2-score game.
Let's see if it's a delay call.
It's not going to happen on this drive.
Oh, another penalty on Jimbo. That's 2 on this
Jimbo.
drive.
The penalties have been on the 49ers side. So it'll be third down and
I'm going to
goal at the
revoke his
13.
Hall of Fame-ness.
Is he in, or is Dan Pompei still beating that drum? Is
No,
he
he
in?
did. Jimmy got in
Good.
He was in the huge
I'm happy.
pandemic class where they had to do it.
I'm
every
not
2
sure how
days.
comfortable
Look
I am.
at the
I
perm
feel like,
on Jim Covert. Holy
right.
shit.
Black for Dan Marino in college.
And he got his hair.
I love Covert. I just worry that his career wasn't long enough, but if he's in, he's in. I'm not going to fret.
He's in. He deserved it. He's in it
Should
just
be
for
in.
neutralizing, as John Madden. He's been because of Madden. I was talking about how the
Good.
only guy who ever shut
We
Lawrence
did.
Taylor down was Jim Covert.
Fucking A. Tough one for Wally.
3rd and 8. Let's run a draw to Walter. So they're going to have to kick a field goal.
No, Butler was reliable. They finally cut the intermittent PAT making Bob Thomas. for good.
It's one of the great things about looking back at old Bear games is how many times it's, and about time was missing extra.
Right.
Sometimes we had a game where he missed two extra points.
Right. You brought that up in our Packers.
He missed 2 extra points in that.
I do encourage you to replay the Packers game when you make that observation that you could actually miss more than one in the game. That 61-7 game he missed too.
He had a lot to kick, but you think he could make it?
Right. He was exhausted.
Bloodhead, he didn't miss. Kevin Butler didn't miss. Bob. Judge. All right, so the Bears are up 19-10. It's going to take 2 scores from the Niners.
Yeah, good luck. And so I don't know how confident we are. Like, this is in the last year we've watched the Bears beat up Archie Manning and the Vikings and the Raiders, and we're feeling pretty good about our defense, but there's still a little bit of a psychological catch with a team like the Niners. We're just about there.
Now you just got to survive the kickoff to Carl Monroe. He's the biggest threat on the field at this point.
Probably, because
tackling
Joe Montana is a deserving, legitimate, one of the greatest all-time quarterbacks, and it's the most challenging that he'll find himself against the Bears, I feel like. But they still got to finish it off. He can still do it.
Big tackle by Jim Morrissey.
Right at shortstop.
Now we'll see on this drive what the 49ers think they've got.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Running down on the kick. None other than William, the refrigerator Perry. He didn't really do anything, but that's good.
No foreshadowing. That's foreshadowing, kids.
He wasn't a controversial first-round pick. I mean, other than Buddy said he didn't want him. It's not like they picked a 5th-round talent in the first round. They picked a first-round talent in the first round.
Right. It wasn't like trading 9 picks for Ricky Williams.
The Bears are going the wrong way. Oh, no, that's the Niners. Confused.
It was only controversial because Buddy Ryan blew it up in the press.
Who wasted draft pick?
Yeah.
Holding, number 86, offense. Repeat, first down.
Push him back. That's John Frank.
Yeah. Boy, John Frank not having a very good game. No wonder he quit to be a doctor.
Right,
Is he the one who became the doctor? I think he was, right?
I don't know, the character. I thought didn't he date Andrea? I forgot my characters. I don't even know Ian Ziering's character's name. Steve. His name was Steve. Oh, inject that into my veins, by the way. They already flashed it. 2 fumbles by the Niners. Results in 6 points. 12 penalties, 90 yards. 6 sacks.
So this is great. Not only did John Frank was the one who quit, he famously gave up football to become a doctor. And
wow.
He's a surgeon. He's a hair transplant surgeon.
Wow. And yet, watching him bobble that pass,
I wouldn't want him
to
put him in my I only go to the best. I go to Restore.
Yeah, you and Ian, Ryan, Brian.
Yeah. I'm like Ryan Sandberg though. I only do the front. But I'm not paying for the back of the head. That's fine. I'm just give me the horseshoe, the reverse horseshoe. That's what I want.
Sure. So McMichael makes another. It seems like we end up talking about McMichael enough, even when we talk about Cubs games. But he makes a very impressive athletic play coming up here. This play or the next play. Again, now we're in the 4th quarter, and the Niners are pinned inside their own 15.
Look at that. Yeah, they set up a screenplay to Roger Craig, and McMichael sniffed it out and batted the ball.
I feel like I'm getting on board on this late arriving Steve McMichael appreciation. As far as is he maybe a Hall of Famer? Because I know people are making the case. Look at that. Huge play.
Great effort by McMichael. Get up in the air and tip that ball away. You
see
Bonhorst was out there
jump
in front.
Woo.
Could have gotten a block on the linebacker, and it would have been pretty good yardage. That was a one-man screen set up out there.
Yeah, they would have broken something on that play. Jim McMahon roommate alert.
Second down and 25. Montana has time, hits Dwight Clark at the 25, and he's tackled at the 27-yard line.
This is the old legend Dwight Clark. They still need 2 scores, and they're pinned deep, so feeling pretty good here.
3rd and 11 coming up.
And they're down 9 in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you bet your ass they are, Dick.
Definitely playing like they want to be.
Exactly. I don't even think Joe Montana is going to be able to get a silk purse out of this shit. This position, and watch. I think Fensick comes in on a blitz here.
Look at that, well timed by Fensick.
And that's it. Montana's done. He's not. I think he's done trying to bust his. He's not because he's a pro, but that was their last hope in this game, and the pressure just got to be too irritating for him. Every fucking time he drops back, it's more and more. He's got less time. It's a beautiful thing.
And I'll tell you, they put the pressure on Montana. Here they come, everybody. 9 people.
Yeah.
Man, they did. They rushed 9 on 3rd and 11.
And he overthrew his guy by like 7 yards. You know, that's the epitome of just flinging it up.
By Michael Walter.
So yeah, they made Joe Montana do that. It was worth waiting for 3.5 quarters to, to see. It's the only time. Very few times. Very few teams did that.
All right,
the Giants actually did.
Bears are up 9, 11 minutes to go.
Yeah.
If
you have a cigarette, folks, get ready to set it aside.
He's 31 years old. It's not like he's 38. He's 31 years old. Why don't we let's saddle up Walter and just ride him.
This drive is almost like an homage to Walter Payton, 1978, when he's running behind Reedy Story and Dan Jiggets and Dennis Lick and all those other guys. Walter left, Walter right, Walter up the middle. First one
is Walter left.
He
gets
first down.
Yards.
Close to a first down, may even have it. Dana McLemore making the stop, then a good block by the right tackle, Keith Van.
And you're right, he's 31.
They're shy by about a yard.
He's already in his 11th goddamn NFL season. He's been the NFL leading rusher for an entire season. And he hasn't really gone off this year. So what we're watching is like the beginning of another streak that would just pile onto his legacy.
2nd and 1 at the 43.
So we got 9 on the first one.
There's Walter Wright. There's your first down.
Now it's 2 in a row.
To the 47-yard line, Ricky Ellison on the tackle.
Walter lays on the ground waiting for somebody to help him up, and they don't.
Right. What the fuck, guys? He's not Cade McMahon. What are you doing?
He's kind of laid back again, like somebody's going to help me up. And he's like, fuck it, I guess I got to get
the
up.
ball 20 times. He's
yeah.
A couple weeks ago, when they won a ball game against the Redskins, I think he carried the ball just 6 times. He said they were blitzing a lot. It was time to go to something else.
But that's okay. That was a Dexter Manley game. He was a decoy. And he threw a touchdown pass to McMahon in that game.
Payton on a pitch.
Walter again. Or another 7 yards.
So that's what, 3 touches in a row, all running plays. Stayed in bounds there too, right?
Chew up time and keep the ball on the ground. It'll be 2nd down and about 4 for the Chicago Bears. Bob McKittrick, offensive line coach.
Looks like he's playing
for San Francisco.
Tic-tac-toe with somebody on the sideline.
Trying to decipher.
I'm going to put an X here. Where do you want to put it there? Oh?
Ziggy cartoon.
Here's Walter again.
4 in a row. It still fights for
there
no
you
yard.
Should be a first
enough
down.
for the first down, though.
They're giving
See, that's the
everybody
thing.
first downs.
You get a first down. You get a first down.
Close over 100 now. For the 65th time. Walter's over the 100 yards mark.
Right. Ron Jeremy just confirmed it.
Walter Payton has gone over the 100 mark.
65th time.
Last week he scored his 100 and 101st touchdowns. He has a TD today.
10 weeks later.
Only Jim Brown, Lenny Moore,
yes.
John
For the
Riggins,
Bears, he'd be at 75.
along with Don Hudson, can say they've scored 100 or more touchdowns.
John Riggins still had more touchdowns than him at that point. He just rattled. Dick just rattled off Jim Brown, Lenny Moore, John Riggins. I forget who else. See how. I love that. My favorite thing is that in this game he gets first downs on these piddling little 1 yard dives, but then he's always like getting chunks of like 8 or 9 yards on first and second down.
Doing a good job with the clock now.
There's Ed Hughes, and he's got the play sheet in his pants. He might have been the first guy to do that.
Trendsetter.
Who knew?
Ahead of his time.
This is the Ed Hughes move. You don't have a pocket for this. I'll just shove it right down the front of my pants. Gotta be careful with that laminated stuff, though.
The Bears led 13
it's easy. You don't want to get a paper cut.
That's right.
They're going to measure just for the hell of it. He got it.
Yeah, it's a little disrespectful to Walter. All right, so the Bears are now in the Niners territory at the 43.
Well, looks like Sui almost went offside there. He went in motion just for the hell of it. Just going that there. He's got the ball out like a loaf of bread.
Just another big chunk, 6 or 7. Oh, there's his cruise mate, Keena Turner on the tackle.
Hey, see you on the poop deck, Keena.
How's that
claustrophobia? They mix it up. They let Suey have a carry, so Walter can have one playoff where he has to block 8 guys.
I think Suey gets the next one, too. I think they give a couple to Suey. I might be wrong, but...
Because going over his drink order there with Ed. What do you think? What should we get?
This game right now, the line of scrimmage. The Bears have held the ball for 4 minutes on this drive, which only frustrates Bill Walsh. His team.
Are we past it? Are we at 156? I'm just curious. Dick, it's all right. Dick mentions when the Bears beat the Niners in '83. It was a noteworthy game, I have to add. It's also on YouTube. Is that another first down?
Yep.
For the Bears. And in the situation, he told us yesterday that he likes
Walter's basically running the clock out by himself. With a little help from Seth. Andy Frederickson again. Looks like he's actually playing tackle this time. Van Horn got hurt.
There.
And he was the workhorse, and it was Payton left.
He was on the ground
There's
a little bit.
Trip down memory lane talking about Payton not having an offense in the 70s.
That's what Payton has done today. All-time leading rusher in the NFL. Scott
Say it again.
Is now in a nose tackle.
Can never stay it enough.
Not much Bill Walsh can do on the sidelines.
Yeah, eat shit.
Take it right up the road.
Yeah, there's a big bag of shit you can eat, Bill.
Walter Payton finds a hole. Covers up in a hurry. 2nd and 7.
Oh, we're going to Stewie again.
Got to mix it Stewie again.
Doesn't go anywhere on that play.
Now we got a 3rd down coming up.
Oh, then it must be
I
time
don't
for
know.
another.
What should we throw? Fuck it, give it to him.
And it'll be 3rd down.
Must be time for another.
If the Bears kick a field goal here and they're stalled on this drive, that would mean that the 49ers would need 2 touchdowns.
Which
22-10.
So this
right,
Dick. In a situation now
good math.
Defensive down, it'll be 3rd and
that'd be
about
12.
Even in today's game, that would ice the game. Actually, in today's game, the field goal doesn't really change much. Here it is.
We saw the Bears beat the Niners 13-3, and that seemed to be the starting point for the
Dick's right. That game is, if you look for an ascension, that's it. And that game is on YouTube. There's 1983 Soldier Field.
Screen pass to Suey on 3rd down. Gets the 1st down. Keeps the
Attaboy,
drive
Matt.
alive.
It's just, think about this. I probably enjoyed this drive more watching it this week than I did when I was 13 years old. They just bleed this game at the end. So they punched the Niners in the mouth, then they let them make it a game. And then when it counted, they just shoved it right down their fucking throat from one end of the field to the other.
And the Bears, with their first pass of this drive,
yeah, the only shot the Niners had to win was to get the ball back.
Yes,
because they had to score twice, and the Bears like, nope, we're just gonna.
The Bears' offense did nothing since the Bears' offense really did nothing since the 1st quarter, except this drive, and that's all that they need.
We got Brad Anderson split out to the right here. All the attention goes to Brad, and Walter gets a few yards.
Going already 6.
Smart. That's smart offensive game plan. Put the great Brad Anderson on the field. Oh, it's Pinky. That was Pinky?
Oh, that's right. They're already giving him a blow. Ditka's already sort of rubbing it in.
Pinky's coming back. Walter's coming back. Walter's like, that's enough of that shit.
Yeah, I want to score a touchdown.
And all they're thinking now in that bear huddle and with this guy and Matt Suey is hang on to the ball because you know the 49ers on defense will be
Bears have run 7 minutes off the clock. And they still have the ball on they're on the 17.
17? Oh, we can't let DraftKings hear a FanDuel
commercial. Oh yeah, we can't let no, not FanDuel.
Right.
Oh no. Oh, this is a DraftKings
the
podcast.
rival.
There's no FanDuel.
You got to mute that shit. Yeah, I know. They want you to fast forward.
All right, now we're back.
Well, thank God it's only 10 seconds. Walter's kick 4.
He's not going to need 2 here. Here's Walter. Walter running left.
The sweetest part, he dragged Ronnie Lott the last 2 yards. In your face, motherfucker.
Dragged him right over the pylon for the touchdown, and the Bears are 25-10.
I need a cigarette after that drive.
This is over. Nothing can happen now that can embarrass the Niners more than what's already happened.
Correct.
It's impossible.
Right. Yeah.
Well, there's James Maness celebrating on the sidelines. Not doing anything.
In a way, wasn't James Maness busted for coke? I think he might be celebrating in a way in which he knew how. Sure. They're coming together, folks. These Bears, they're worth looking out after.
I think we got a team, man. I think we became a team. Oh, that was that with the Saints. And it is all important. 26th point. This doesn't really matter.
Right. So in today's game, that would only be a 2-score game, but it's been put out of reach. Because
13 plays.
This is what I mean, though, when I talk about how the 2-point conversions really changed the game, because this game's over now. Today, some shit could happen with 3-4.
Score a touchdown, go for 2, get an outside kick.
Exactly right. But instead, now I do have to have I hated Joe Montana even though he went to Notre Dame because it was before my time. But I have to respect him in this game where he's actually, he goes back out here on this next drive.
I would have told Kavanaugh, hey, you get your ass in there. You get hit for a while.
Yeah. And he does, and he moves him a little bit. But he takes a few more licks. He has to suffer the indignity of a botched, he gets his center knocked out of the game at the end, and a new center comes in, they botch a snap. So first of all, there's this.
Joe is turtling. Sacked by the great Tyrone Keys.
And who else?
And William the Refrigerator. Perry.
So Buddy relented. Buddy actually put him in before Dick.
And one of the Bears was offside. It's probably the Fridge. Doesn't even know where to line.
It wasn't the Fridge, though.
Okay.
I think it was Keys.
Oh no, Fred Quillen's down. Whatever will we do without him?
He's the center, so that factors
you don't
into
need
the
one.
next
Just hike it to yourself.
Dennis Gentry and Thomas Sanders make up the backfield now for the Bears. As Walter Payton leaves the game after a glorious effort today. Here's Sanders.
So
Thomas Sanders.
There's the Thomas Sanders, Calvin Thomas backfield.
The 49ers dropping to 3-3.
So now we're down to 140. First down handoff to Sanders.
Well, look who's jogging in. Wait a minute.
Is
that? Well, that's a large man to be entering the huddle. He must be an offensive lineman.
What's he doing?
Are
they pointing? I wonder if Bill Wallace is noticing that.
Who is that? Why is that fat man in the huddle?
Right.
That they thought in their own mind that they'd be 5-1 or 4-2 at the worst at this point.
They thought they could.
Dick hasn't noticed.
Like they did against the Raiders.
Nope.
The fullback.
You can't do it.
Is William.
A lot of us only vaguely noticed.
And there he goes. Jimmy has given him the ball, and William has lost here.
William Perry playing in the backfield with a minute to go. William the Refrigerator Perry carried the ball.
I think that might be a message to the Angus formation from last year in the NFC Championship.
Angus, I thought it was
when Bill Walsh put Guy McIntyre back in the backfield.
You can't get anything past Wayne Walker.
The Chicago Bears.
No, not even the Navajo defense.
Again. This time he gets a couple of yards.
Yeah, and that's it. They cut it off right away. It's over. Bears win. But, and honestly, if you need a companion piece, if you've made it to the end, first of all, I salute you.
2 hours and 33 minutes.
I was going to say, sorry about the prognosis. But the next week, the Bears would go to Green Bay. And, of course, after this week, the Bears play the Packers. Last year, we did a similar treatment of the Bears Monday night game when Fridge got the full Monty. And I think it's worth a re-listen. It's kind of funny, though, to look at this game and that's like the little germ at the end of this game that had nothing to do with it until it did. I mean, this game was all about the Bears defense arriving, not taking any shit from the Niners. We actually have a quarterback, and we're on our way. But then that was like the Bears on a normal ascension. And then the Bears that were like the rock stars of the world and everything else, because they were 6-0, pretty much took off the next week. And like I said, we broke that down last year. The Bears-Packers Monday night game, and and you mentioned that God, when they played the Cowboys a month later, and the team just got better. They got more ferocious. Like the more the season went on, it just did not relent.
They had a really weird schedule. So they opened with Tampa, who was the division rival at the time in the Central, and then they played in week 1, and then they played them again in week 5. They played the Packers in week 7 and week 9. Just one game in between the two Packer games.
That is weird.
And they played.
Vikings. They're done with the Vikings too. Pretty.
Yeah,
early.
They played the Vikings in week 3, and then they played them in week 8. The only conference game they had in the last 6 weeks was the finale against the Lions.
On the road, yeah.
The only division game, not conference game, the only division game. They finished with Dallas, Atlanta, Miami, Indianapolis, and the Jets, and then the Lions.
Yeah.
Just weird.
The season really reached a fever. The regular season reached the fever pitch that feel like after the Dallas-Atlanta duo where they won 80-0, because that was right before Miami, right?
So that was week 11 and 12, and the 13 was Miami.
So the air had to come out a little. It was just too insane. It was just like it was beyond a crescendo. What we just watched there was pretty awesome. They had exacted revenge on the Niners. They didn't need to exact revenge on the Redskins because they actually went in and punched them in the face in their own stadium in the playoffs the year before. But nevertheless, they blew them the fuck out, 45-10, a few weeks earlier. They stunned the Vikings. I mean, they had these huge signature victories. And then it just got more, and it just grew. It seemed infinite.
Yeah, so it's weird. They gave up 47 points in 2 games against Tampa. They beat them 38-28, and they beat them 27-19. They gave up 24 points against the Vikings the first time. Other than that, they allowed 7, 10, 10, 7, 9, 10, 3, 0, 0. Then the loss to the Dolphins, 10, 6, and 17. So they had a stretch from week
less than 20. Are those all those other ones that you called apart less than 20 points?
Yeah, they only allowed 20 points or more 3 times in this season.
And it's the Vikings,
week 1, week 3,
one of the
and
Buccaneers.
Wow. Yeah, they had a streak where they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where 6 out of 7 weeks they gave up less than 10 points. They threw in the Packers got 10 on them.
60-10. That's the fridge catches a touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah, the fridge catch is what ends up being the game-winning touchdown.
Right.
The novelty act. Haha, we're going to shove it up your ass. Ended up being the points they needed to win. And I don't know if you knew this, because nobody ever talks about this. Then in the playoffs, they only gave up 10 points.
We mentioned that. Well,
do people know that? I don't know that anybody knows that.
No, what you mentioned, what you sort of unearthed was the number of yards in all 3 playoff games. So, all right, man.
All right.
Catch you later.
Yep. Thanks.
I just want this to be over.